Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. How was you guys' day? And yes, I know I am streaming earlier than I normally do. And the reason why is because I got a lot of crap to do. So this is going to be like a little bit longer than our usual streams. So this is going to be a little bit longer than usual streams. That's why I am live this early. So yeah, so we're gonna finish season 1 of My Street, but also I am a nosy bitch that loves Stephanie Sue, that loves RottenMango. So I seen that she posted a new episode. So, oh boy, I'm tired, and my allergies are like kicking me in the butt. It's not fun. I don't like it. But the thing is, it's fine. Oh shit. Dum 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 bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I got my big ass noggin in your face. Sorry, but hi. I forgot that my model track everything, so well, almost everything. So you're gonna see when I be yawning and stuff. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm about to mute myself real quick to blow my nose because Lord have mercy, that is so annoying. I also took my allergy pills too, and that crap didn't work. That crap didn't work. I can't win nor lose, and it sucks, you know? Please, about to get started, y'all. But how's you guys doing? Ooh, Lord. Take the wheel. Have people not learned from that one Will Smith movie that we do not want to quit androids? Please. That's not. I don't forgot the name of the movie, but like that whole premise is don't fuck with robots. But yet we build in robots that are tall as people, human like, quote unquote, androids. Like, no. Leave it be. Please. Like, let's not do that. Don't be surprised if Cat's Eyes gnarly is all over my feed ever since it came out. Oh Lord. Like, the song is fun, don't get me wrong, but dang, like, no, like, the song is actually good though. Now, bro. I'm about to mute real quick. I gotta blow my nose. Everyone is talking about that one clip that's going around of Blue Ivy talking. I'm trying to post on the other social media that I'm live. So yeah. Bruh, why I open up TikTok now it's stuck in my head, bruh. Now, everyone, I am going to give a little bit of a warning to everyone that the topics that are going to be mentioned in the first hour of this stream is going to be havoc. What the fuck? I mean heavy. It is going to be very heavy. So if these type of topics are not your cup of tea, like you can't handle this type of stuff, I don't blame you if you don't stay the entire stream, because it will talk about the things that Diddy did. So yeah. Alright, so let's get started, everyone. Like I said, it will be talked about, like, it will talk about a lot of heavy topics. And I mean, a lot.
Bada boo. Monday, opening statements for the Diddy trial. There are no cameras allowed in federal courtrooms, so I know you guys often like to watch live streams of trials, but there's no cameras. So I have two RottenMango researchers inside the courthouse with me. We are all individually witnessing and experiencing everything that's happening during the trial, individually taking notes, and then every single night we'll come home and regroup and try to find all of the things that we all saw and felt and noted down, because I thought that was the best way, because sometimes we notice things that the other person doesn't notice, and maybe it's like in our heads, we don't know. So these are all the things that we noted on Monday. If you guys are just here for the actual trial and like maybe some of the transcript stuff, skip ahead. This is like the energy inside the courtroom.
Sorry, you gonna hear me sniffing a lot during this stream because my allergies. So, like, I'm so sorry. My allergy pills ain't even working, so sorry about that.
The defense attorneys start walking into the courtroom, it's already so tense. The energy, everybody expected it to be a lot more tense on Monday because it's the last day of jury selection. They're finalizing a jury. They're going to start opening statements. Two witnesses are going to come to the stand to testify. There's going to be cross-examinations. It's going to be tense. but it was really tense. Brian Steele walks in holding Tenny's bag as well as his own bag, and I feel like the minute that Brian walked in, we were all taking notes, because we have discovered this new thing at RottenMango, which is the fact that we can kind of predict what's about to happen in court next based off of Brian Steele's eyeglasses.
Not
There's
off
something
his
about this man's
glasses.
reading
That's crazy.
You look at his reading glasses, if they are on his nose bridge, I feel like whatever is coming next in court is about to be very serious. Or he's reading something. But like usually something very serious is going to happen. When they're off, I feel like he's relaxed. I feel like it's about to be lunch. And they're just staying on his nose.
So basically you're reading his
like
body
buried
language
inside of his papers first thing in the morning. Usually he likes to do his little posing. Not posing, but he likes to do his little stance while he greets people. But he's just like buried into the papers. Mark, the lead defense attorney, also stressed. I feel like he had a very approachable, almost like a teddy bearish quality that just keeps declining rapidly day by day. Seemingly, they're very stressed. The whole defense team, they just look like they're cramming for some sort of finals on the other side of the courtroom, and we're just in the back watching, kind of stalking them is the feeling, and like taking notes.
right.
And then the prosecution team walks in. This is the team that Mark Garagos, lead attorney Kenny Garagos' famous celebrity attorney father, has called a six-pack of white women.
My understanding is you got a six-pack of white women.
They walk in, and I will say, I
What?
don't know
What
if
does
it's
that
the
mean?
fact that we heard him call them a six-pack of white women on a podcast, or if they just look so cool. They looked so cool coming in. Yeah, the six of them, they walked in together, and they are just no business. One of us wrote down, if this were a soundtrack, it would be a very depressing motivational anthem.
Oh,
They
wow.
look
Depressing.
so depressing. They look so powerful, and it's so motivating and inspiring, and I'm like, that's the look of justice, right? Question mark. But they all look so sleep deprived. I feel like they're sleeping under their desk. I feel like they're being held hostage.
Dang,
the courthouse.
overworked.
They look less
That's
tense than
no.
the defense attorneys, but they look so sleep deprived. All three of us wrote down.
Y'all
that
need
the
a
lead on this
vacation.
case, which is Maureen
Oh,
Comey.
poor
She was the lead on
kids.
the Maxwell
Well,
case as
not
well.
kids, but
She was
y'all
assigned
know
the
what I mean.
Epstein case,
For
but,
people.
he self-exited in jail, said nobody ever, right, debated. She went to Harvard Law School. She had really intense eye bags on her, and we say that with a lot of respect. But it is worth noting, by the way, that
Please
the
get a
prosecution,
vacation. You need it.
yes,
You deserve
maybe
it.
It helps us sleep better at night to believe that they are in it for the sole motivating factor of just insatiable hunger for the justice of the people. Clearly, it's a huge stepping stone for a lot of people. Diddy's own successful defense attorneys have worked for the DA's office at one point. Mark Agnifilo, Alexandra Shapiro, Xavier Donaldson. It's like a pipeline.
Oh, they all worked in the. Is it the same
I don't
office?
think SDNY. So I know Xavier Donaldson worked in the Bronx. I
Dog,
don't think
you
that-
laying on my foot
They
and
were
you putting
kind
my
of
dang
colleagues
foot
at
to
one
sleep,
point.
Alexandra
dog.
Shapiro did work SDNY,
Move.
if I'm not mistaken.
My foot
They
is
were
asleep.
ex-colleagues.
Get off my
But I don't know if
foot.
their timelines overlap.
Thank
but
you.
It is a pipeline. So former prosecutors have a lot of knowledge of how evidence is evaluated, charging decisions are made. I mean, they're
Hey,
pretty good at anticipating
lay
the
down.
weaknesses in the government's cases. So just having even that relationship with the DA's office is probably
I
successful.
said lay down.
Which
Do
is
not.
very interesting
go.
to note. That's another thing that's so bizarre, is that I
I'm gonna
think
put you in a
logically it
cage.
makes
Go.
sense when we walk in there, but every single morning we see the lead prosecutor, the lead defense attorney, and all the defense attorneys and prosecutors mingling, chit-chatting, having a good time. You would think that they're just like in the coffee room, like they're working for a corporation together as best buds on the same team. Or like
Really?
maybe half of them are in marketing and then the other half are in engineering. They just chit-chat like they're good old pals. And then the minute that the judge walks into the room, I feel like they want to kill each other. And it's just like a really weird shift of energy. And logically, it makes sense. It's a job. They're doing
Right.
a job. But it's still very jolting to experience because, I don't know. I
That's
feel like that's,
fascinating.
yeah. Like even after
Right,
the
sometimes you
opening
just gotta
statements
hit the
today,
switch
the
and
two
turn
attorneys
on,
that did
like,
the opening statements immediately
business.
after they were like chit-chatting.
Like, you gotta
I was
put
like,
on a
what's
straight
going
face
on?
for your job.
Huh.
You know?
Yeah. Now, side note, just to put this out there, I believe the prosecutors make around $150,000 to $200,000 a year. I researched it. That's the number I found, right? It is believed that Diddy's attorneys could be making tens of millions of dollars on just representing Diddy. And I think that's like one of the attorneys, and he's got many attorneys. One TMZ clip, which I think TMZ is a very interesting source for this information because Mark Garagos seemingly has a very close relationship with the outlet, even hosting a podcast on TMZ.
So to clarify,
Yes.
Mark is the father.
Of Tenny Garagos. Okay, let me give you a brief recap on lore. Mark Agnifilo
Yes,
is the lead
please,
attorney
let
with
us
Tenny Garagos.
in on the
Mark Agnifilo
everything.
and his wife Karen Agnifilo are representing Luigi Mangione. So if the name sounds familiar, that's where it's familiar, okay? And then Tenny Garagos is working with Mark Agnifilo, but her dad is Mark Garagos. He represented Hunter Biden, Chris Brown, he's representing the Menendez brothers, Scott Peterson. Yeah, he is a very famous attorney. A lot of people call her the Nepo baby of the defense side, but then like some people argue that there is a Nepo baby on the prosecutor's side. It's a whole thing. So Mark, he's not formally representing Diddy for this trial, but he has a very seemingly long-term close relationship with Diddy, and he has a podcast on TMZ where later, without Mark in the room, TMZ, the outlet, they talk about how one attorney turned down representing Diddy for this case, but the number that they wanted was $10 million. And that's just for one attorney. Some of the attorneys working on the case right now, it is suspected that they asked way upwards of $10 million to take the case.
I mean, he was offered $10 million to defend Diddy.
Jesus.
The amount that you just mentioned,
Well, yeah, because that was just for one lawyer.
that one lawyer asked for way more than 10 million.
Oh, really?
Way more.
Huh.
Way
So what do you think? What do you
more.
think?
So
Hey,
let's
if
just
you're going
say
to
these
defend a
prosecutors are making,
criminal,
like, $200,000
well,
to defense
allegedly,
attorneys.
I should
Could
say
allegedly be making,
allegedly,
like, $10 million
a criminal,
at the
then
very
you gotta
least.
get
Side note,
your
the
bank
lead
for it,
prosecutor,
especially because of the
Marie
crap that
Cohn,
he's
her father is
done.
James
You
Comey,
probably going to
former
some
FBI
backlash.
director.
Like I said,
So she's
alleged,
kind of, I guess
alleged,
if you really wanna
alleged.
call her like the Nepo baby of the prosecutor's side, technically, because there was a little bit of a scandal that she got the Epstein case assigned to her really early on into her career at SDNY. But I don't even think that means anything, because when I'm in that courtroom, I feel like both of them could just run miles around me in terms of just cognitive function. It's like not even a question. But I do feel like I could do a deep dive episode lore on every single person working on this case, because the water is deep every single area. The defense attorneys come in, the prosecutors come in, and I think the next notable people, I mean, the pews start filling up, like these rock hard church pews start.
By the way, if it seems like I'm more quiet than usual when I do like reactions and stuff, it's because this is a more serious topic and I'm really just tuning in. I might make some commentary here and there, and so yeah, but you better not sit back on my foot. I just got you off my dang foot. Move.
Filling up with people. And I think the next notable people that everybody was anticipating to come into the courtroom were the family, Diddy's family members. They practically walk in birth order, except Christian and Justin are swapped, and they're all holding hands. So it's Quincy, Christian, Justin, Chance, and then the two twins. And I will say, they're all so tall. I don't know why that was like my first impression. That was my first note. They're all so incredibly tall, and they all do have a presence about them, and they come in dressed like they're going to a gala or something. Not overdressed, but everything was just so sharp and tailored, is the feeling.
Right, they
now,
gotta.
I will say, Christian Combs, who also has allegations against him, he walks in kind of more nervous, is what we wrote down. He seems to have his jaw clenched. There is this one moment where this could be nothing, this could be a coincidence, this could be me overthinking it, but he's walking in at a later point during the day, and he sees one of the sketch artists in the front. She's sketching the family, and he looks not particularly happy
Right.
about the sketch.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
is what all
dang.
three of us noted. And then the three daughters, they also walk into the courtroom holding hands.
God
And
dang,
this
they
is
all
where
look like
we
triplets.
had a whole debate all weekend.
I know
who's
two
gonna
of
do
them were
opening
twins, but
statements for
still.
defense, because Monday is opening statements, and we thought it was going to be Tenny. We're like, it's going to be Tenny. It doesn't make sense. It can't be anybody else, because you're dealing with a lot of female victims, and she's kind of like the lead female attorney on the case. Like, if they don't do Tenny, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
But then later, Karen Agnifilo, Mark's wife, walks into the courtroom, and I will say, everybody was looking at her. So I think
Oh?
everybody knows her, everybody recognizes her, and there's this moment where Mark looks back and he's smiling at her across the courtroom. She's like sitting in the very, very back, trying not to disturb anybody. And then we have this brief moment where we're like, wait, is Mark doing the opening statements? Because why is Karen Agnifilo here? And
Right.
then eventually, the door opens and Diddy walks out. This time he did switch up his wardrobe. He's wearing gray pants, gray sweater, white collared shirt underneath. He does smile discreetly at his family. He's blowing them kisses. He does throw up a heart with both of his hands. The sketch that we saw shows kind of upside down heart, but all three of us were like, no, I swear it was a regular heart. So I think it was a regular heart. And it was...
To the family?
Yes, it was pretty discreet. I will say I didn't want to harp too much on like his interactions with his family. I think he has relatively normal reactions with his family.
Right.
But there was this one moment on Monday where he turns around and he just nods at his sons. And then they nod back. But it's like a very intense nod. I mean,
Oh?
maybe I was mistaken. Maybe they're just like a family of nodders. But it was
If
a
you hear
lot
me
of
moving
nodding.
around so
I'm like,
much, it's because I'm trying to grab my water.
no, this is like later.
I have a
in the day.
refrigerator in
And
my
it's like he's
room.
not
I got a
smiling,
mini
and
fridge.
they're nodding back, and like the nodding lasts a second, and then there's another point where he whispers what we think sounds or looks like my sons, and then he's just like nodding. So it was very intense. But I know that some of you guys come from
A nice
trying to
ice
feel like the camera
water
is
hits
there.
every
'Cause I
time.
feel like there's a lot of things, a lot of moments that happen that you could maybe capture on camera that you're not going to get in a court transcript.
Yeah, personally, I love it. I think
Yeah.
it helps me picture everything really
And like
clearly.
the energy, and I feel like even the energy shifting throughout the day, you can kind of sense it. So we tried our best to collaborate on our notes and make sure these are the ones that all three of us felt, so it's very consistent. Those are
Right, you gotta
Monday,
compare
so
and
we're gonna
contrast and
so we're
see,
just
like,
gonna get started.
is... Sorry, I got a text message from someone. That's why I couldn't quiet so quick.
A few disclaimers. Regarding content warnings, there's themes of essay and DV, and secondly, certain portions and quotes have been shortened and condensed and or combined for brevity. This is a very quick disclaimer, but everything reported on in this episode and throughout the trial is public information, but any descriptions or observations regarding the defendant or anybody else in the courtroom are personally noted by myself and my two researchers who are present most of the times in the courtroom in
Right.
person, seeing all of these things happen in real time with our own eyes. However, just because we see something and feel something does not mean that our experiences and statements are valid reflections of the truth. Our interpretations of these random things that we see in the courtroom could mean nothing. Like, it could be completely inaccurate. They have no weight or bearing, obviously, on the verdict of the trial, but it should also not be a definitive source on how you feel about a defendant, about a victim, a witness, or really just the case in general. This case right now, Diddy is considered innocent until proven guilty.
Yep.
The burden of proof is the responsibility of the prosecution, and all the crimes that he has been charged with
Are alleged.
until a verdict
Yeah.
is reached. We did 4 deep dives into Diddy's case in 2024 after his arrest, so if you want to know the backstory on everything, it's going to be in 4 different videos that I'm going to link below. And now we are on the opening statements of his trial that started Monday, May 12th. We're going to be doing daily updates on Diddy's trial. He is facing 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking, 2 counts of transportation across state lines for the purpose of sex work. He's rejected a plea deal, and he is facing a maximum of life imprisonment if found guilty. This is a federal case, so like I said, no cameras. We can't even bring our phones in. Like, we're just taking handwritten notes.
Yeah,
So with that being
life
said,
in prison,
just
if
get
found
The first part of Monday
guilty,
starts
well,
with
I
selecting
can't
the
speak.
jury.
If
So
found
both sides
guilty,
still have to get rid of
is
all of their strikes. Basically, they
wonderful
have a number of
sentence,
strikes
but
that they
if
can
not
get rid
found
of
guilty,
jurors
he's
for
obviously
technically
going to
no
be
reason at all. And the minute that
be
these
free
strikes
again.
start
So
occurring, it seems very
anything
hectic on the
that
defense side.
we have
There's an
seen on
order
the
in
internet
which they have to go.
or
The order
has
begins,
been
but it's
said
like the
or
prosecutor
alleged or
strike
whatever
1,
the case may
the defense
be,
will strike 1 or 2. There's like a very
it's
specific
all
order. And there's clearly a
like,
pattern
in
that
the
they need
air
to follow.
right
and
now.
Mark Agnifilo is not following the pattern. He's reminded by prosecutors, like, I think you were only supposed to strike one at that point. Linda Moreno, who is the jury consultant for Diddy's team, she's a little bit more involved today. Like, the whole morning, before they even got started, she's been turning around to Diddy, talking more intensely to him. She was a lot more social prior to this. I feel like in the mornings before court really started, she would talk to other attorneys. She did not come to play today. She looks like she's on her game. She's wearing a gold swirl brooch on her jacket, and she looks very serious. I mean, she's clearly the jury consultant. They're doing the strikes on the jurors. Mark Agnifilo will keep going to her to verify, and she'll go through her papers. And I feel like it's not that well organized, is the feeling that I got as the press. Like,
Right.
it just seemed a little bit, and then all three of us wrote this down. Like, we had different variations of hectic. Like, just like, what's happening? And then eventually, Mark Agnifilo states, Your Honor, I note that the government has struck 7 black people out of 9 strikes. By our count, the government struck 7 black people, which we believe amounts to a pattern, and it's our request that the government give neutral reasons for these strikes. So, okay, side note, by this point, like, while it was very hectic before they got to this point, I don't want to look too into it, but we all did write it down. It does feel like every time the defense attorneys are confused or are slightly underprepared or are maybe not on their A game, over the top, doing things before the judge even asks for it. Diddy
That's
will look at them,
not
and it's not a menacing way.
great.
It's not like a sinister way. He's not staring them down. He's not nodding at them. He just will look at them like, hello? And it's, like, to us, it's kind of intense, yeah. Like, hello? He'll just look at them while they're stressing. Like, what's going on is the vibe we get. Okay. It felt like maybe they were freaking out because they wanted to say this statement and they were all trying to agree because there's like 7 different attorneys.
Right, they
kind of
like under pressure and stuff. So,
now, the lead
yeah.
prosecutor on this case, Comey, she comes out swinging. I think this is the first time I hear her voice. The whole jury selection, she was not the one doing most of it. Her voice reminds me of, there's a TV show called Bones. It's like a forensic anthropologist played by Zooey Deschanel's sister. This is so random. It's not that important, but she is known to be this extremely logical and rational person. That obviously in the show, it benefits her professional life. It doesn't benefit her love life. It's a TV show. I'm not trying to say that's Comey, but she has a very similar way of communicating. Very straightforward, very matter of fact, to the point where her voice is almost monotone, but it's not boring. It's monotone, but it's not boring. It's monotone, but it feels powerful.
Maybe she has a pace.
Yes, she has a very low register, and I feel like a lot of times when someone has a very low register, it's raspy or it's smoky. It's not that. It's very clear. It's very direct. I was reading up on her this morning before going to court, and I guess when hearing her voice, it just clicked. Her voice carries such a presence, and people say she's intense. I would say her voice might be more authoritative than even Mark Agnifilo's. Yeah, she barely does facial emotes. When she starts talking, she's not talking, she's swinging. I don't know how to describe it.
Really?
She doesn't even do many filler words. She doesn't have moments where she's looking down. Like, other attorneys will have moments where they're looking down and they're like, okay, hold on. Nothing. She just comes out. The government has conducted itself completely neutrally throughout the course of
So
jury
she got to
selection. We have
memorize.
not
She knows what
demonstrated
she
any
needs
sort
to
of bias
do, and
whatsoever.
she
In
got it
addition, I
down
would note
pat.
that the
She's
jury
trying
itself is
to
composed of a very diverse group of jurors, including a number of non-white
be
jurors.
on top of
I
it.
don't believe that a case has been established. I am, however, for the sake of the record, prepared to offer neutral reasons and reasons that far exceed Batson's bar for why we struck the jurors that we struck.
Like that fast?
Yeah, like pretty fast. Her
Dang.
cadence is pretty addicting to listen to. The energy that she carries is very intense. So she starts going through all of the jurors that they struck that maybe there might be questions about, which the Batson's challenge is basically saying, yeah, you have a certain number of dedicated strikes that you can strike potential jurors for no reason, but you can't strike them for their race. Like, you cannot discriminate.
Right.
So now the defense is saying, wait, there are so many black jurors that you guys just struck out. So maybe we raise the Batson's challenge. And Comey is just listing them off one by one, and she does not stutter. She does not miss a beat. She does not even throw in a singular filler word. Okay, I don't think that's factually correct. I'm sure that there's filler words, but barely any. And she begins, and this is condensed. Juror 51 knew 17 names out of the list of people that were provided to her. She knew all the defendant's children, and she knew the names of one of the witnesses we expect to testify at this trial. She explained that she knew many of those names from watching a television program.
Honestly, I'm just glad that I don't have jury duty. I didn't say that correctly because I can't speak English today. Even though English is my first language, it's just can't speak it today. Because I'll be like, can I just go home? I feel uncomfortable. Especially if it comes to like this type of trial. I'll be like, yeah, no. I hope everybody gets the justice that they need, but like I'm gonna be like either so biased or just like so uncomfortable to even just remotely be there. So I'm just glad I don't got jury duty.
Comey argues that the juror likely watched Making the Band. It's a reality TV series, if you guys remember, where some of the members on the show have filed lawsuits against Diddy, or they've spoken out against Diddy, accusing him of inappropriate touching and or predatory business practices, where some of them have even accused Diddy of threatening violence, but also cannibalism to some degree.
Wait, hold on.
In the Making of the Band,
what do you mean?
That is called The Making of a Bad Boy. This
is gonna take longer than an hour to watch. What do you mean cannibalism? Ew. Yeah, no. Also, like, making people feel uncomfortable in the workspace like that is not cool. And it's gonna be a short stream because it's raining, and 9 out of 10 my power and crap gonna be out. Yay my luck. Alright, let's shut up. I don't even remember what I was trying to say. Yeah, this is gonna be a short stream now because it's raining and my power and shit gonna be out.
And pay them $20 to smack the shit out of you.
Damn, what the fuck?
Diddy and his attorneys have filed a $100 million lawsuit against NBC and Peacock for that very documentary, but take that as you will. Comey continues.
Sorry for the cussing. That caught me off guard.
Favorable opinions of all these people. That raised us to have concerns that she would bring outside knowledge into her deliberations in this case. They also note that she has a fiance that served 4 years in prison, with Comey saying there might be some unconscious bias in favor of a defendant who risked incarceration given that close relative had spent some time in prison. There were the neutral reasons which far exceed the Batson requirement of any reason, not even a good reason, but these are good reasons that we exercise that strike. As for juror number 216, she states, we had moved to strike that juror for cause, as your honor might recall. To summarize, he had been arrested 3 times, including for harassing a police officer. He also said that his sister had reported to him that she had been abused in a domestic violence situation, but he had said that he had not been there, so he couldn't know who was right, and he couldn't know whether to believe her. That also raised red flags for us about how he would evaluate potential victim testimony in this case.
Right.
Side note, he also did refer to the police as assholes, which he continues. So again, that very easily clears the bar of any reason. There are good reasons why we exercise that strike. Our 4th strike was a juror whose ex-husband had spent 21 years in prison for attempted murder, and she had not broken the relationship as a result of it. She remained close with him. Comey also mentions that that juror said that she worked with people with bipolar and manic disorders. She said that she believed that everyone with bipolar or manic disorder have some sort of trauma. Now, the prosecutors state that there will be some text message evidence where the defendant's behavior is described colloquially as bipolar or manic, so they are concerned that that juror might bring those outside experiences and infer that the defendant is traumatized. Then the 5th strike. The juror has 2 brothers who did time in prison for felony convictions. Also, he admitted that he watched news about the case the morning of jury selection, which concerned the prosecutors. They said it was strange. Okay, so this juror wanted to be on the jury, but he said if he serves, he's going to lose 30% of his income, but that's okay. And they felt like he expressed no concerns about losing that much money. She says, quote, that made us worry that he has an agenda and is trying to get on this jury. Again, easily clears the bar of any reason. Those are good reasons to exercise that strike. Then another strike, she says, I believe we moved to strike this individual for cause given his English language difficulties. He also had a nephew who he said was a gang member who had been in prison for about 2 years, I believe, for being involved in shooting a police officer. Then another alternate they struck for being in the same high school as Diddy, or having gone to the same high school for not the same time, but just in case. And she states, so the totality of those reasons, in addition to the reasons that we moved on for cause with that juror, again, easily clears Batson's bar for of not just any reason, but good reasons. Which, side note, I do think that there's a lot of room for healthy debate on jury selection, and including or excluding jurors based on their bias against police officers. I feel like a lot of people have been talking about, in today's age, how do you even find a jury where people have not had somewhat negative or fully negative interactions with police? So I do believe that's a larger conversation that I don't necessarily know I'm the most qualified for right now, or the most well-versed in. However, in terms of the law, it does appear that the prosecutors came just ready for whatever the defense was about to put out, because even Judge Arun says, so the defendant's challenge under Batson's is denied. The defendant has failed to show purposeful discrimination as required by Batson, so the application is denied. And with that, the jury is set and they are sworn in. A few side notes. Judge Arun becomes very friendly when the jury comes into the room. Like, there's this very noticeable shift in his energy. When it's just all of the attorneys, he's very firm. He's very professional, but he's very firm. He doesn't play games. But then when the jurors are in the room, he's usually very, like, a lot more approachable, a lot more accommodating, a lot more friendly. Yeah, I think he does take the jurors serving 8 weeks as, like, a very high thing.
Right.
Like,
they taking time out
them
of their
out on time
personal
every single day. He's
life
all
and
about
stuff.
making sure that the
So
trial
yeah.
finishes in 8 weeks so that they can go back to their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like very intense about it, and I kind of love him for that.
Right.
So I will say that as the
W
jurors
for
are
that,
getting
because
sworn
like
in, Diddy is, like,
you don't
kind
want
of
it to
nodding.
drag
Maybe it's
out
coincidental. All three
and
of
stuff,
us did write
because
it
like
down. It's
regular
not like a scary
people
nod. It's just
still
like the nod
have
that he did when he
families,
really
still
walked into the
have
courtroom.
jobs,
I
and
don't
still
know
have
what kind of
other
nod that is.
responsibilities
I'm not really a
out
big
of
nodder,
the
so
court.
I can't
So
say
I
for sure, but
like
he's
that.
kind of nodding and he is looking at them. And another thing that we noticed, and again, maybe it's coincidence, maybe it's opinion, maybe my eyes are deceiving me, but there's this moment where, well, the whole day, actually, Brian Steele and Diddy, I feel like they used to have best friend necklaces cut in half type of energy, and I feel like this, they were a little bit more stressed today. But there's this part where the jurors are getting sworn in. Brian Steele pushes his chair back, and it's carpet, so he has to kind of lift his chair and then push it back. So it's not an easy process. It's not like you just scoot it back. He moves his chair all the way away from the table. He sits with his hands in his lap, showing, and he's watching the jury get sworn in. And Diddy almost instantly mirrors Brian. Like, it was almost instant.
Like moving the chair back?
Yes, and then sitting with his hands in his lap. I wouldn't say it was like identical mirroring, but moving the chair back on the carpet was like pretty instant. Yeah. And I have just never seen someone more on their best behavior than Diddy on Monday. I would say the most notable things about Diddy, he was asked if he has enough water, and he reaches into the mic and he says, "I could use a little more if you don't mind." And his voice is slightly raspy, but his tone is, it's like, "I could use a little more if you don't mind." It's like very
A little
sweet,
softer.
very accommodating. It's like if you were to go to your very wealthy aunt's twice removed house and you just know everything is so expensive, so you can't even like sit on the couch, and you just sit on the edge and you just hope that your jeans don't stain the white couch.
Right.
I guess if you have some more water, like I would love some. It's kind of that vibe. Even when Tenny, the lawyer on his right, has to sit back down after a statement, he full on both arms, like a moving company mover, is pulling out her chair onto the carpet. But it's just like, it's like the Brian Steele jacket lapel thing. It's just like, it feels like too much.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know if the Queen, rest in peace, got this type of treatment when she wanted to sit down on a chair. It was a lot. And then once the opening statements start, Diddy is a literal statue. We wrote down, two out of three of us wrote down statue, because his eyes will move, his eyes will dart about, but other than that, this, like,
Man is just still
he's a
like
marble
a statue.
He's
Yeah.
a wax figurine. I don't know how else to explain it. I did a comparison that honestly should not be taken seriously at all. Don't take it seriously, but I took it seriously because I don't know why I was taking these notes. But I did a comparison of the physical moving body of Brian Steele. The way that I always end up sitting, I feel like I mainly just see Mark Agnifilo and Tenny's the back of their heads, but I get and I think because they move around a lot more, I get a better view of Diddy and Brian Steele. And then Alexandra Shapiro is on Brian Steele's other side, but she's usually very low-key. Yeah, and so I did a comparison of the physical moving body of Brian Steele and Diddy, and in the span that it takes Brian Steele to look up, and he's not doing this weird, like he's just doing this as he's moving his neck, he's looking up, he kind of rolls his head side to side, he kind of lolls it, he looks down, he kind of purses his lips, then he looks back up, he lifts his chin, then he purses his lips again, and then he sucks in his cheeks, looks away, and then he puts his index finger near his eyes, then he kind of like
Moving
flexes
body
his
much.
face, and then he kind of moves his neck around, and in all of that, Diddy has not moved but his eyeballs inside of the sockets. Like, he is rigid, and his back is not even to the back of the chair. So his back is erect, and he's like statue rigid.
Wait, this is during opening statement or?
Yes.
Mm.
During opening statements, very rigid. Now, opening statements, the podium where the attorneys are going to be speaking directly to the jurors is literally facing the jurors. I would say the first row of jurors, you could reach out and caress their hair.
And kind of touch
You
them,
would not
yeah.
even do that. I think you would get kicked out of court. But
Exactly,
that's
but
how
like,
close it is.
yeah,
And usually
this
opening statements,
pretty close.
They say it's a very good way for the defense and the prosecutors to build rapport with the jury, build credibility, sell their story, shape the jurors' perceptions. And I'm going to try and describe everything and be your camera. The prosecutors start. Diddy is focused on the prosecutor. His back is straight, his head is up. He's scooted the chair all the way up, so his stomach is touching the table at this point, and his posture is good.
Here,
well,
snack,
erect.
go.
And his elbows are resting on the table, and he is just watching in full focus.
Stay out there with the
Later,
snack, though.
he will readjust where he leans into his chair, but he's still watching the prosecutor intently during the opening statements.
Okay. An ad about to
Learning
come
about
up.
investing when I was freshly 18, 19 years Wall Street.
W ad. Ghost.
Over download the Acorns app to get started. Paid client endorsement compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 4 compensation provided. Investing involves risks. Acorn Advisors LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/rotten.
What she said. I watch RottenMango a lot, so I know
Emily Johnson
and
is
it's about
from
to
the
pop up.
prosecution. She starts the government's opening statement, and I'm gonna try to do it in the.
Sorry
time
if
that
y'all
she
hear my
does.
dog munching.
This is
I told her
Sean
to go
Combs.
out
To the
further
public,
than this,
He was Puff Daddy,
but she brought
Or
it
did
close to my door,
a
so I'm
cultural
sorry
icon.
about that.
a businessman, larger than life. But there was another side to him, a side that ran a criminal enterprise. Okay, going into opening statements, I think the content of the opening statement matters, right? But also the delivery, because the jurors are the ones hearing it, and they're the ones either getting moved, shaped, not moved by it. I think the opening statements were kind of disappointing.
Girl,
I know that
move.
the opening statements, I looked
You
it up,
loud.
they're not supposed to be overly passionate. You don't want to come off as you're trying to sell someone or something or an idea, but it just felt so flat. The opening statement from the prosecutor goes, during this trial, you are going to hear about 20 years of the defendant's crimes, but he didn't do it alone. He had an inner circle of bodyguards and high-ranking employees who helped him commit crimes and helped him cover up kidnapping, arson, drugs,
Damn.
sex crimes, bribery, and obstruction.
Damn.
These are just some of the crimes that the defendant and his inner circle
I only
committed
knew
again
about
and
some
again.
of them. What the
You are going
fuck?
to hear about all of them during this trial. Let's start now with just one night. The prosecutor states the defendant was on the hunt for his girlfriend, a woman named Cassie. For years, the
Talking about the
defendant physically
Cassie
abused
situation
Cassie.
right now.
He also sexually exploited her, forcing her to have sex with male escorts while he watched and recorded it.
Hey,
She also
yo.
doesn't make a lot of eye contact with the jurors, we noted, and she seems to be more so reading. But that night, the defendant
yeah,
learned that
she
he had
gotta make
lost
sure
control
she
of
get
Cassie.
everything correct.
He found out that Cassie was seeing another man. Furious, he set out to find Cassie and that other man, but he couldn't do it by himself. So he took his gun and he took his bodyguard, one of his most loyal lieutenants, to wake up one of the defendant's employees in the middle of the night. So she goes on to state that after finding Cassie, he, quote, when he finally found her, he did what he had done countless times before. He beat her brutally, kicking her in the back and flinging her around like a rag doll.
Poor
So she tells the
baby.
jury he
Oh
threatened
my
her. The defendant
God.
told Cassie that if she defied him again, he would publicly release the videos of her having sex with male escorts that he kept as blackmail. Souvenirs
Oh,
of the most
hell no.
humiliating
What the
nights of her
fuck?
life. She continues, this was just one in the defendant's 2 decades of crime, and as you will learn, this was just the tip of the iceberg. These are not the only crimes the defendant committed. That's not the only time he kidnapped someone, and Cassie is not the only woman he beat or sexually exploited. For 20 years, the defendant, with the help of his trusted inner circle, committed crime after crime. That's why we are here today. That's what this case is about. 20 years of crime is a lot to cover. So at this point, Diddy did shake his head a tiny bit. No? About the 20 years. I don't know if it's about that. Maybe there's a fly. I don't know. Maybe it's coincidental. I will say, though, the opening statement did not evoke any emotions, considering how emotional I feel like a lot of the allegations are. And I feel like even listening to some of the press and, like, listening to some of the public talking about it, everybody is, like, ready to cry nonstop when Cassie hits the stand, you know? So it just felt very flat. Considering how, like, emotional people already feel about the case. It just felt kind of, I mean, all the words used were slightly vague. I mean, we did have a whole debate about it, so we were thinking maybe it's vague because it resonates more with the larger audience, or maybe it's vague because I did notice that the jurors were taking notes, so maybe she's talking in a note-taking speed. I don't know. If you guys are attorneys, let me know in the comments. But she'll say things like, you'll learn that the defendant was a musician who created an empire. He had a record label, Bad Boy Records, and other businesses that he ran or controlled. Those businesses made the defendant rich, and he used money and resources from those companies to build his reputation and to feed his every desire. It just felt kind of like, not passionate, you know?
Don't
but
eat so fast.
More easily digestible. He sometimes called himself the king, and he expected to be treated like one. He expected his inner circle to cater to his every desire, including his sexual desires. Now, at this point,
eat slowly next time.
I don't know if this is, like, in our heads, but we did see Diddy's cheeks kind of perk. So we don't know if maybe he's, like, clenching his jaw, or maybe he's hiding a smile. I don't know. Or maybe his cheeks just go up because our facial movements do weird things. She continues, let me be very clear on this next point. This case is not about a celebrity's private sexual preferences. The evidence will show that the sexual conduct at issue in this case was coercive and criminal because the defendant made women have sex when they did not want to, because he threatened them, he drugged them, he lied to them, and he even used violence to make them do it. She does mention the freak-offs, but she mentions that later he called them king nights or hotel nights, allegedly. Right? And the defendant had particular demands for freak-offs. She states that he would get his staff to come into the hotel room, and we kind of already, I feel like a lot of the public already went through this type of information, but he would control the lighting. He liked extra linens, lubricant. His staff would remain on call to allegedly
sit down. You ain't getting no more.
Anything in that room, including drugs and cash for the male escorts. She says, the hotel rooms are dark. The defendant instructed Cassie and Jane, which is another victim who's going to testify, how to dress in lingerie, wear tall platform high heels, and have manicured white nails. The defendant selected drugs for Cassie and Jane to take, usually MDMA, also known as Molly or ecstasy. She says the defendant fed Cassie and Jane drugs throughout the freak-off so that they could stay awake and perform for him for hours and days at a time. So she talks about how Diddy and Cassie met when they were 19 years old. Well, Cassie was 19 years old, Diddy was 19 years older, and he signed a 10-album deal with his label. They're on and off dating from 2006 to 2018. The defendant starts abusing Cassie early on. Initially, Cassie fights back. This is like through
like she was a literal
child. Diddy was incredibly violent with Cassie.
Like
so
legally, lawfully, she's considered as an adult, but like 19, 18 is still a child.
Freak-offs early on. Soon, the defendant made it Cassie's job to find and book escorts for freak-offs. Freak-offs that were happening as often as once a week for days at a time, meaning that for almost half of every week, Cassie was in a dark hotel room, high and awake, for days, performing sex acts that she did not want to.
That's so fucked up, bro.
Wow.
Cassie will tell you how she felt like she was choking when the defendant made an escort urinate in her mouth.
Ew, what the fuck?
How she overdosed at a freak-off when she still had an open wound on her face from the defendant's most recent assault. The prosecutors state that if Cassie didn't do what the defendant wanted, the consequences were really severe. They say that He would beat her when she didn't answer the phone when he called. He beat her when she left a freak off without his permission. He beat her when she took too long in the bathroom. The defendant taught Cassie that defying him could and often would end in violence. The prosecutors state that Jane went through similar things that Cassie went through, and that started around 2020. Diddy and Jane started spending time together in 2020. And that the prosecutors state that Diddy asked Jane for a freak off, and then it snowballed into
it went
similar allegations
worse.
and violence. The prosecution does state Jane tried twice to make it through these nights without drugs. The first time, she broke down and had took ecstasy to finish performing for the defendant. The second time, Jane vomited after having sex with an escort. How did the defendant respond? He told her to hurry up and get back into the room where another escort was waiting. The prosecutors go on to detail that one night Jane and Diddy get into this altercation where Jane is upset that she's doing all these freak-offs while Diddy is vacationing and taking his other girlfriends on trips. And quote, Jane hit the defendant and threw things at him. The defendant became enraged, so Jane tried to get away from him and hide. She ran to her bedroom and locked the door. He kicked it open. She ran to her bathroom and locked the door. He kicked it open. She ran to her closet and locked the door. He kicked it open. She ran to the guest bedroom and locked the door. He kicked it open. She tried to run out the front door, but he grabbed her in a chokehold, lifted her off the ground by her neck, and kicked her to the ground. Later that night, they fought again, and just as he had with Cassie, the defendant viciously attacked Jane. He punched her in the face, kicked her while she was curled up in a ball on the ground, dragged her by her
if
hair
this
and her
shit
arm, and slapped
actually
Jane's face so
is
hard she fell
real,
over. And when all
Diddy
of this was over, the defendant
deserves
still did not let Jane
life
leave.
in prison,
Instead, he
bro.
told Jane, "You're not
Like,
gonna fuck
hey,
up my
dog,
night."
move. You almost dropped
The
my
defendant
computer.
instructed her to put
Because,
on
like,
an
what
outfit
the
and call up
fuck?
an escort for a
Like,
freak
no
off. He made Jane
actual
cover her black eye
sane
and bruising and
person
take an ecstasy
would
pill
do
and
this
perform for the
if, like,
defendant with that
that's
escort.
monster
The prosecutors also state that an
behavior.
employee that worked for Diddy,
Oh,
Mia,
wait.
will tell
By the
the
way,
jurors
this
about
is
the
all
years
alleged.
Diddy would force
Let
himself
me just
on
say
her
that real quick.
sexually,
All
putting
alleged, but
his
like,
hands up her
if
dress,
this
unzipping
shit's
his
actually
pants,
real, he
forcing her to
deserves like
perform oral
some life
sex,
in
and sneaking
prison.
into her bed to essay her.
Wait, this is a different Mia, you said?
Yeah.
So that's another victim, the
Yes.
third one now.
And so the prosecutors state, Mia will tell you how she could not talk about what happened to her until recently, how she wanted to take the secret of what the defendant did to her grave, and how everything was covered up by Diddy's inner circle, even the hotel footage of Cassie. The prosecutor states, in exchange of the video from the hotel, the defendant gave the security guard a brown paper bag full of $100,000 in cash, while the defendant's bodyguard and his chief of staff stood by. This is far
That's
from the only
so
time that the
insane.
defendant's inner circle tried to close ranks and do damage control. And just preemptively, I think the prosecutors are stating, you will learn that some of these witnesses and victims, including Cassie, have already received financial settlements from the defendant or have filed lawsuits against the defendant. But
Right.
these witnesses will tell you that they trade any money from the defendant for not having been abused. She ends the statement with, first, please pay close attention to the evidence. Second, please follow the judge's instructions on the law. And third, please use and trust your common sense. If you do
Don't.
all that, you will reach the only verdict that is consistent with the law and the evidence in this case. That is, the defendant, Sean Combs, is guilty. It was not as powerful as I think what it could have been, but I don't know. I felt like we had this whole
Yeah.
conversation about it I feel like we've heard a lot of other opening statements in other cases that had a lot more emotion. I don't know if maybe this is so high profile that they try to keep it as professional and unemotional as possible. I don't know. If you know, let me know. The whole time near the end, Diddy is, in what we thought in our notes, eyeing Tenny, his attorney on his right, like her paper as if he's copying her homework. And then immediately after, Tenny Garagos gets up to do the opening statements for the defense. She's wearing a white turtleneck, a black pantsuit that's completely pleated in the back. She is, I would say, much more in control when she walks up. She doesn't look like she's reading as much as the prosecution did. She's looking at the jurors more often. She seems a lot more prepared than the prosecutor did during the opening statements. One thing that I did notice that a lot of people noticed where I was sitting is that it appeared that she had white nail polish on. I know, like, in the last one, I was like, I feel like it was pink. In her interview, it looked pretty white. And I was like, I don't know if it's me. But then, like, both my researchers were like, no, it looks really white.
And that's a choice she made.
I guess, yeah. If it's white,
Yeah.
it's a choice. Yeah. Let me read you parts of her opening statement. Good
That's
morning.
interesting.
Sean Combs is a complicated man, but this is not a complicated case. This case is about love, jealousy, infidelity, and money. This case is about voluntary adult choices made by capable adults and consensual relationships. This case is about real-life relationships, and the government is trying to turn those relationships into a racketeering case, a prostitution case, and a sex trafficking case. It will not work. I think given the circumstances of the allegations, the accusations, even just the hotel footage,
Right.
I think a lot of people can't think of many other ways that maybe Tenny Garagos could have done an opening statement, but yeah, she continues. You will hear the evidence. You will get the truth. You will see the witnesses and evaluate them one by one. And finally, the story about this case can finally come out. Why do I say that? I say that because this case is not about what you've heard on the news, read in the news, or have seen on social media for the past year and a half. This case is not about what civil attorneys looking for a payday are trying to make my client out to be. There has been a tremendous amount of noise around this case for the past year, and it's time to cancel that noise and hear and see the evidence that will be presented in this courtroom. The story of Sean Combs is a fascinating one, but it is a human one. We are going to tell you his story over the next 2 months in this courtroom. So by now, you've heard the government say a lot of things about my client. It's time for me to introduce you to him. His name is Sean Combs. And at this point, I almost peed myself because Diddy
Stood up.
stands up. And it's like kind of abrupt. Like I wasn't expecting him to stand up.
Wait.
It feels okay. So there's two ways that we are trying to describe it, and we don't know which one's more accurate. So the first way, it almost feels like maybe because he was so statuesque the whole day, he forgot how his limbs move, and then he just like shot up out of his chair like a little rocket heading into space. Or it feels kind of like a military roll call, just like shoots up, back straight, posture straight. And I do think it's awkward because it's not like I don't think he can just like wave at the jurors. That comes off very high, right?
Right.
So he just stands up. Okay, and she's like,
Yeah,
his
they
name is
can
Sean
be
Combs. You may have heard
off-putting,
of him by
especially
Puff,
if, like,
Puff Daddy,
what is
P. Diddy,
Stephanie is
Puffy
saying
Diddy,
that he
but
was,
standing in this courtroom
like,
at 55 years
still
old,
the
in the
entire
same
time,
place
but
he
then
was
all
born
of a
and
sudden
raised.
he just
He's
gets
going
up.
by the same
It can
name
be,
he was
like,
born
very
with,
off-putting.
Sean Combs. My name is Tenny Garagos, and I am one of the attorneys honored to represent him. By this point, he sits back down. His hands are folded in his lap. The prosecution will bring in those same employees and others into this courtroom and have them testify that Sean Combs has a temper. And when he drank or when he did the wrong drugs, he would get violent. My client is not proud of that, but it is one of the many things we are going to own and fully admit right up at the front of this trial. Sean Combs has a bad temper. He sometimes gets so angry or so jealous that he is out of control.
Go to
You will see
anger
evidence and you will
management,
hear some
bruh.
testimony that does not portray my client in a good
Like,
light.
just
You will
because
hear some text
you're
messages, some voice
angry
notes, and some witness
does not
testimony
give
that may
you
make
the
you think,
rights
I don't think this guy
to
is a
put
good
your
guy.
hands on
I don't
anyone,
like how he just
threaten
lied to his
anyone, or
girlfriends.
do
I don't like the
anything
things he just said in
of
that
the
text
sort
message.
to
I want
harm
to tell you now, there may be
someone.
one point,
Emotionally,
there may be
physically, I don't
multiple
give a
points
fuck.
at this trial where you think,
Get help.
I think he is a jerk, and I think he is kind of mean. But he is not being charged with being mean. He's not charged with being a jerk. He's charged with running a racketeering enterprise. I did peek at people in the courtroom.
Okay. The press, or you're talking about the families?
Public,
Okay.
yeah, and I will say, I don't think a lot of women were happy with some of
yeah.
these.
They're
Right.
visually showing some, like,
Yeah, like I'm gonna try to reserve my own personal feelings, although I feel like I make my personal feelings very clear throughout the years. I'm gonna try to reserve them because I'm trying to be like the camera, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
So, but yeah, I did see some people that were
I
either
see
doing,
where
like,
Stephanie's
slight
coming from. She was
microwaves
like,
or,
I'm trying to give you
kind of
the
face.
facts, the
But
information.
it's to be
Like,
expected.
yes,
Like,
I
think this is
am
what
making
everybody
some
expected
of,
from the
like,
opening statement
what I
of this
think
case.
and what I
And
feel
she continues,
known and what some
and
of
though
my
there was
opinions
violence that you
are,
are
but
going to
I'm
hear
not going to
about, you
give them
already have.
all.
That
I just
violence
want
is
y'all to know
not
the information
part of
first.
any RICO.
And I get
That
it and
violence is not
understand it.
connected to sex trafficking, and that violence is not prostitution. There was a name in criminal law for the violence that we will hear about and we will see at this trial. It is called domestic violence. It is called assault. Domestic violence is a very serious matter. I want to say that now. It is a bad, illegal problem, and it is something that the law addresses. We take full responsibility that there was domestic violence in this case. Domestic violence is not sex trafficking. I want to say it again. Domestic violence is not sex trafficking. Had he been charged with domestic violence, had he been charged with assault, we would not be here right now. We would not be sitting through an 8-week trial. However, he has been charged with different crimes: sex trafficking, prostitution, racketeering. These are federal crimes with their different statutes. They charge different elements, and he is simply not guilty of those crimes. One of the central themes of my statements to you will be personal accountability and personal responsibility. As the trial goes on, we will see that with each witness, we are going to take that on ourselves. We will not shy away from the things Mr. Combs did, but we will not deny his personal responsibility or own the things that he did not do. We are telling you right now that he is physical, that he is a drug user, and I'm telling you he had a bit of a different sex life. For example, you may have not heard any evidence in this case, but the prosecutors already told you about lubricant, and you may know of his love of baby oil.
What?
Is that a federal crime? No. You will hear that he got IVs after ingesting drugs. Is that a federal crime? No. He will be responsible. He will be accountable for the things that he did. But we will fight for his freedom throughout the next 8 weeks for what he did not do. And he cannot be the only person in this case who accepts personal responsibility and accountability for his actions. The alleged victims who will testify in this case are capable, strong, adult women. They are all getting something each of them wanted from him and from being in a romantic relationship with him. And those adult, capable, strong women will have to take on the same level of personal responsibility for their lives that he is going to take on for his. When any person in life makes an adult choice, that is a free choice. A free choice has pros, it has cons. You may think there are better choices. You may think there are worse choices. But that does not eliminate the personal responsibility behind those choices. And each of the women you will hear from, they all had the personal responsibility and the freedom to make the choices that they made. You will hear from these women, you will see these women, you will meet them, they will sit in that witness chair a few feet away, and you will evaluate them for yourselves. You will see that they are capable, you will see that they are strong, you will see that they made free choices every single day for years. As you are listening to the evidence and you listen to them testify, I want you to ask yourselves, what are all the ways that this individual had the ability to make that choice? Ask yourself, what are they getting from being with Sean Combs? They are not with him because they are stuck or because they are without a choice. The government will try to show you that Sean Combs is the only one getting something from each of the alleged victims who testify in this case. But with each of these individuals, ask yourselves, what is this person getting? They are with him or they are working for him because they are getting something they want from being with him. Now, with each person, that something may be different, and it usually is, but with each person, they are all getting something.
I have no fucking clue
Combs
what that
is one
noise
of those
is,
men
but
that I'll
like
submit
that's
to you.
annoying
We
as
all
shit.
know. The evidence is going to show that he is somebody who never married, but he needed to always have a woman around. He's a many woman man. He has 7 children by
Hello
4
to
different women,
any
and he is
new
the kind of guy
viewers.
who is
Just
always
to
in
give you a
relationships. In
content
fact, he was always in
warning,
multiple
this
relationships.
is
But critically,
talking. I'm gonna pause this real quick. This is talking about a very serious topic, so if you are uncomfortable, feel free to leave at any time. It will be talking about domestic violence and more sexual assault and more. Like, it's about the Diddy trial that's going on right now, and if you heard about like the crazy shit that man has allegedly done, then feel free to leave. I recommend do not stay if you are uncomfortable with the topic at hand. You can always come back an hour from now when we start reacting to Ask content. We are finishing season 1 today.
he was not always honest about the fact. And you'll find that even when women knew he was in multiple relationships, this would drive a primal jealousy in people. It would drive a lot of the choices you are going to see in this case. You will see that these women are strong, capable, and that they were in love with him. You will see that breaches of trust, infidelity, and jealousy are what drove the domestic violence you will hear about. You will see that alcohol and drugs played a major role in his temper, and the evidence is going to show you a very flawed individual, but it will not show you a racketeer, a sex trafficker, or somebody transporting for prostitution. So as we've said, you're going to hear from 2 women,
wow.
Cassie and Jane. This case is in large part about his sexual relationships with these two women, and you're going to hear that they went to private hotel rooms to engage in what I expect some witnesses at this case to call the swingers lifestyle, which is essentially just a fancier terminology for threesomes by adults. You might hear about his kinky sex or his preferences about sex that may make you uncomfortable and may not be what you like to do in your own bedroom. But you are not here to judge him for his sexual preferences. You are not here to judge him for all purposes. You are here to evaluate whether the government can prove beyond a reasonable doubt what they actually charged him with. They cannot. But as you evaluate the evidence in this case, remember that he is not being charged with being a flawed individual or having a flawed relationship. The defense states that Cassie started dating Diddy while he was still in a relationship with Kim Porter, the mother of his 4 children.
Oh, wow.
They state, after the two fell in love and started dating, she broke up with her producer boyfriend, but Combs, for his part, did not break up with Kim. He remained in a public relationship with her, and that is something that caused extreme jealousy with Cassie. He continued that relationship with Kim Porter until her tragic, untimely death from pneumonia in 2018. Regarding the hotel video where Cassie is seen in the hallway being assaulted, they say, this assault happened almost 10 years ago on March 5th of 2016. I expect that we are all going to see this video many, many times throughout this trial. You are going to see it later today, and I expect you to see it many more times throughout this week. You're going to see it a lot. But I want to start by saying 2 things.
It's so
First, what Combs
sad.
did to Cassie in that videotape is indefensible. It is horrible. It is dehumanizing. It's violent. It's virtually every bad word you can think of. And while it's dehumanizing and violent and terrible, the second most important thing is that it is not evidence of sex
You can't
trafficking.
fully see
It is
everything,
evidence
but you
of
can see
domestic
some
violence.
of it. Oh my
You will see that it's
god.
also evidence of the
I've
central thing
never
in this
seen
case,
the
which is
video.
jealousy. That's what the videotape will show you. So the defense states that what
Like
Diddy
the
really
way that
wanted
he
day
grabbed
was
her
the
hair
phone,
in the
and
hoodie,
that
like
DV
what
is
the
over the phone
fuck,
and not because
bro?
of sex trafficking. Further asking, what causes a fight about a phone? We can all use our life experiences to show us that. Phones keep the secrets of infidelity, and you will hear that there was another fight even later that year, again, about a phone. The defense states that the two of them stayed together for 2 years after that hotel footage, and the real reason that Cassie and Diddy break up, according to the defense, is that they were on and off for years. Finally, they break up because, according to the defense, Cassie was very jealous and broke up with Diddy and then started dating her now husband. And then eventually Kim Porter passes away, and the defense states that in November of 2018, Kim Porter tragically passed away from pneumonia. Knowing that Combs would be distraught and wanting to be there for him, she did everything she could to be there. She came to his memorial service at his home. She flew to Kim's home state of Georgia to be at the funeral. Don't lose the sight of the fact that amidst a breakup, all the way at the end of 2018, she flew to a funeral service to be there for him and support him and his family during this trying time of their lives. And at the service, at their home, Combs, to a group of loved ones, former employees and others, and to many people who on social media were paying respect, said, and I quote, "Kim was my soulmate," in Cassie's presence for everybody to hear. He said, "She was my soulmate." The end of the relationship between Cassie and Combs is important, and I want you to focus on the evidence of how and why it ended. When Combs publicly stated Kim Porter was his soulmate to all the people around him who were there, for the first time maybe ever, Cassie realized all the things she would not be. I expect many witnesses at this trial to tell you she wanted to be Combs' wife. I expect even she may tell you that. That is what she spent 11 years trying to get, and in one day it became very clear to Cassie she was never going to be that. And if she was never going to be Combs' wife, if she was never going to be the love of his life, then she would leave. And that is what she did, on her terms, her choice, for reasons that for her were the right reasons. The defense does state when she made the decision to leave, there were no repercussions, as the government hinted. She made the choice to leave. She communicated it to him, and then she ran into the arms of another man, which a lot of netizens felt like that part was
Unnecessary
but
to
continuing.
say.
Oh,
Right.
and side note, the defense states that the freak-off videos that they found were not on Diddy's electronics, but on Cassie's, saying you will hear that the government raided 2 of his homes. You've already heard that over a year ago. They seized countless electronic devices. The only freak-off videos you will see or hear about at this trial came from her devices that she kept for 5 years. So when the government talks about power and control, who had the power? Who had the control?
Who?
I guess they're hinting at maybe Cassie has the power because she has those videos and
Which don't make sense.
could blackmail Diddy.
What?
They continue. After Kim's funeral, they never saw each other again. The very first
Like,
time
baby
that
girl,
this
that's
former couple will
evidence.
see each
It's
other
not
after
her
6.5
having
years
the, like,
of a breakup
that power
is in
of,
this
like, the way
courtroom
that they're
later
trying to
today
say that,
or
you
tomorrow.
bitch, that's evidence.
We are all going to witness their closure, and that is because she moved on with her life and he moved on with his. You will see that she married the trainer. She had 2 children with him, and she's pregnant with her 3rd. And Combs also moved on with his life. As for Jane, the defense states that you will see her jealousy on full display at the trial, and you will see that she was willing to engage in these nights with Combs, and then she would be on social media after, and she would see that he was with another one of his girlfriends, either out at dinner or traveling, and she would send messages of regret afterwards. They state these were born out of jealousy, which was the root of their troubles, and regret does not mean that she was coerced. Her
Like, they
jealousy
just
drove
blame
her
it
to make
all
the
on
moves that she
jealousy,
made.
and that's
They also
insane.
go on to allege and state that Cassie was living in her parents' home when she filed the lawsuit against Diddy. They're kind of insinuating that she had financial troubles, and that's why that she didn't go to the police and went to sue him instead. They state, Cassie, for example, will tell you that she first made a demand on Combs for $30 million. Another witness will tell you that in a breach of contract case, she made a demand for $22 million. And as you listen to these witnesses, and there will be many, as the prosecutor told you, who made civil demands against him, I want you to ask yourself, how many millions of reasons does this witness swearing to tell the truth and nothing but the truth have to lie? How many hundreds of thousands of reasons does this witness swearing to tell the truth and nothing but the truth have to lie? So in closing, I ask you once again to listen very carefully to all of the evidence. You are not here to judge or impose your moral beliefs onto this man. You are here as a jury of his peers to determine whether the government can meet its burden of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that he has committed these crimes. So one thing that's very interesting to note is that prior to all of this, like prior to opening statements, Mark Agnifilo and Comey, so the lead prosecutor, they were in the robing room with the judge. So this is not in the courtroom, but it's still on the court transcripts as public record. But Mark is requesting on the record that he, to summarize it, he wishes and hopes and is requesting that Cassie is already seated at the witness stand before the jurors come in. And
Like, they don't want Cassie to walk in front of the jurors?
Yes, this is a quote. Only because of her physical condition. I mean, there are certain things we can't control about a juror who is 8.5 months pregnant. I think he means witness. But I think there is a quality to her walking in front of the jury that I think is easily avoidable. I'm not making an application for any of the other witnesses. So there was a whole back and forth between the judge. The prosecutor was like, that doesn't even make any sense. Why would we be doing that? The prosecutor says, Your Honor, we would object. If Your Honor is considering it, I would like to be heard on that. I don't think there's any basis to treat any witness differently because of a medical condition, most notably pregnancy. I think that would be deeply inappropriate. The judge says that he will think about it, but he does think that Ms. Comey makes a very good point. And he says that we wouldn't treat people differently based on any other sort of medical condition or physical impairment or any other attribute, right? Why would we treat this differently? And Mark says there is a prejudicial quality. Pregnancy is a beautiful and wonderful. It also is a source of potential sympathy. And the judge is just like, they're going to see the witness. You know, like they're going to see the witness. Like, what do you mean? Are you, that doesn't make any sense. Like, what are we trying to achieve? So at this point, I think Mark might try to find support to plead his case to make sure that Cassie is not like walking to the witness stand in front of the jurors.
That's so
Which that don't
interesting,
make
right?
sense
They're
because
saying,
after
hey,
like she
we
says
don't
what she
wanna-
needs to say,
we
she's
don't
gonna
want people to see the visual
English.
of her
She's
and
still
feel
gonna have to
something.
literally get up and
Okay,
walk
so
away,
the defendant comes
no
out
matter
right
what.
next
So like,
to, the defendant chair, and
they're
then the
still gonna
jurors
see
come out
her.
the other
That
door,
don't make
right?
sense.
And they all stay in that side of the courtroom. The witnesses, they come in from the door that we come in from, the double doors behind us. So it's like not saying that I agree with this. I think Cassie should do whatever she wants to do, right? But also, like, no, we should follow the law. Okay, that's what I meant by that.
Right.
But also maybe both, okay? But the double doors open and like everybody is just staring. And then you have to walk down the aisle and like there's press, there's family, there's everybody.
Yeah.
And then you
And
like
she's 8 months pregnant.
yeah,
Right?
and then you walk past the jurors and then you sit right next to the judge at the very opposite end of the room.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an intense, yeah. So that was requested. Now, with that being said, the witnesses are starting. Like, they just went into it. So the first witness gets called onto the stand. And there is a longer hotel video of Diddy and Cassie that was shown in court today. So you're going to see this the next day. So you're seeing this probably Tuesday. It was on Monday. Okay. And the first witness to testify is a security guard, former assistant director of security at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles, Century City, by the name of Israel Flores.
Situation.
I've never taken the time to
I
truly
keep
think about what
bumping
security
my
guard
own
looks like in
computer
my
by
head,
accident,
but if
so
I
sorry.
did take the time to picture and draw him out, it would probably be this witness. I thought he was going to rip out of his suit. If he was the security guard in any establishment, I just can't imagine someone not following the rules.
Like he's very built.
Very built, very tall. But like the way that he's built, I know that in Korea we have like the saying, I don't know if it's like the most appropriate in this setting, but like to give you a visual picture. They call them like the fridge body, right? I think that I've never seen someone that built.
Okay.
Yeah. No, his shoulders were incredibly broad. And so he walks in as the prosecutor's witness, and he's there to recount the events of March 5th, 2016. This is the infamous hotel video. He says, I was at the security base. I received a call from instant services saying there was a woman in distress on the 6th floor. Basically, the hotel has each floor has a phone, so if you pick it up, it goes directly to them, and it pretty much, you don't have to dial anything. You just pick up the phone, it goes to instant services, and she pretty much directs the call. So if you need housekeeping, if you need security, she will direct the call. So he says he gets a call to the 6th floor, a woman is in distress. Before he even goes, he doesn't know what he's getting into, so he says he checks the cameras and sees a black man just pacing back and forth on the 6th floor. He doesn't rewind the footage, he just sees a man pacing back and forth. He says, I got the call saying that there was a woman in distress. I look at the camera, I see a man walking back and forth. There was no woman in the video, so I'm thinking something happened because I didn't see a female in the footage. So I wanted to get there as fast as possible to make sure that nothing was going on. When he gets to the 6th floor, he responds to the call. He says, when I got out of the elevator, I observed a male and a female in the elevator lobby of that floor, the elevator area. He says, quote,
also, hello to any new viewers. Just to give you a content warning, it is talking about DV and more. So if you feel uncomfortable about any of these topics, I do recommend leaving this stream and come back in at in half an hour when we start reacting to AF. But right now it's talking about a serious topic.
And Cassie, she was in the corner and she had her hoodie on. She was pretty much covered up. I couldn't see her face, and she was just, pretty much in the corner. On the floor, he sees a destroyed flower vase, just glass shattered everywhere, which clearly something is happening. But the security guard states, I advised them, obviously, first, I was like, hey, what's going on? Obviously, they were arguing, so I told them, hey, if you guys are going to argue, you guys have to take it back to your room. And then I told them the mess that was there, it was going to be charged to their room. He says Cassie tells her that she just wants to get her phone in her bag and she wants to leave. So he starts escorting them back to their room, likely to grab her stuff. But even as he's escorting them, he states that they're arguing. He says, and we were walking towards the room, and then he eventually tried to re-engage, and I was pretty much reminding him, hey, there's other guests in the hotel, just out of respect for them, let's get back to the room. He states that he hears Diddy tell Cassie that she can't leave, that she's not going to leave. To which he's like, well, if she wants to leave, she's going to leave. That's pretty much it. They walk into the room. He says,
you can't force
Again,
person to stay where they didn't want to.
He said that he had mentioned, I don't want her to leave. Well, I don't want you to leave. So I knew if I let the door close, something can happen. So I put my body in between the door before it closed, and I watched her get her stuff. He says he never fully entered the room. He's just kind of half in, half out at the door. And then he does see majority of the room, and he does notice that there's a man in dark clothing sitting on the corner of the bed in the room. He doesn't recognize him. He's clothed. He's doing nothing. He's not talking. So he says, he was fully clothed, male, black. He wasn't engaging in any conversation with either of them, and he was just sitting on the corner of the bed. He says while he's standing there, there's a lot going on between Diddy and Cassie. He says, so they were going back and forth. First, she was like, you can't leave. Then he was telling her to leave. So it was just back and forth between the both of them. Ultimately, Cassie leaves the room. Quote, so after she left, I told him, hey, stay in the room. Again, everything is going to be charged to your room. As I started walking away, he called for me, and he said,
you
hey,
break
turn
it,
around.
you buy it.
He said, hey, I turned around, and with he's pretty much holding a stack of money. Pretty much. I don't know. That's the best way I can describe it. He was just pretty much telling me, hey, take this, don't tell anyone, pretty much. The witness says he felt like this was a bribe to not tell anybody.
Yeah,
And as for
it
the cash
is.
itself, okay, I did the math. He describes it as being like he holds up his pinky and his thumb.
Allegedly.
So then I stuck my pen that I was using in between my pinky and my thumb. And like this man has ginormous hands. This is a pretty big dude. So I imagine it's actually bigger than my pinky and my thumb. But I measured the pen and then I calculated how much it would be. So he describes the top bill was $100 bill. And the rest he doesn't know because he didn't go through it. He didn't accept the money. But I did the math. If it was a stack of all hundreds, that's $120,000
Damn.
to be what he described. If it was all 50s, 60,000. All 20s, 25,000. 10s, 12,000. 5, 6,000. And if maybe it's just 100.
Imagine being that fucking rich, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Pull out like 100.
I have a notification.
Just like, whoop, here you go.
Yeah. And regardless, well, that's what the witness claims, right? Now, the witness turns it down. He says, I told him I don't want your money. Just go back into your room. Everything is going to be charged to your room and stay in your room.
Thank you for the
And I
follow.
left.
Appreciate
He says
it.
after declining a mortgage, he just goes downstairs to find Cassie, where he notices her in the valet area.
Hi.
He says that he hasn't seen any footage, so he only knows that there's a broken flower vase. There's some sort of disagreement happening between the couple. He starts asking her
Can
what
you
happened.
send
He notices
a
that
title of a video? So, right now we're doing RottenMango, and then later we're finishing season 1. So if it's like not too late, then yes, because we got like 3 to 4 videos of of season 1 of MYSTREET left. So after those videos, then yes, most definitely yes.
there's a purple eye. And then he says, I asked her, did he do that? Do you want me to call the cops? And all she kept saying is, I just want to leave. After speaking to her, she didn't respond to any of my questions. She was just saying, I want to leave. I want to leave. And when I offered her, like, hey, the cops can go to the back of the building. Nobody's going to see. She just kept saying, I want to leave. So there was no victim there. Obviously, nobody was pressing charges. And then by the time I did draft up the email, everybody was gone because Mr. Combs had already left. So when she leaves
That's
from the valet
so
area,
sad,
he goes
bro.
back up with his manager to talk to Diddy. And he claims that he goes into Diddy's room, and the way that his friend manager talks, he likes to hold his phone up to his chest, almost like he's recording. And he claims that Diddy starts freaking out, thinking this man is recording him. So he's like trying to grab the phone. He's like, are you recording me? He's like reaching for the phone. The security guard pins him up against the wall, and he's like, what are you doing? Eventually, the whole situation de-escalates because he's like, I'm not recording. Like, I can show you my phone.
Right.
And it de-escalates. In the incident report that was entered into evidence, it states that after he was shown that there was no recording, Diddy de-escalates and that he just felt scared. Like, I guess that he was going to lose everything was the general consensus.
Right,
So
like,
then
what
he
the
states,
fuck?
quote, just told him the same thing I told him. The security guard is saying, I just told him, like, everything that happened in the lobby is going to be charged to your room. And we reminded him that it was checkout, so he needed to check out by 3 p.m. I've never seen someone so more diligent about charging damages to somebody's room. But one thing to note is that the guard says he never sees that mysterious man from that hotel room ever again. Like, he wasn't there when he went back. So they leave
That's
the room,
weird.
they take pictures of the broken glass, the broken vase on the 6th floor. The guard will eventually send those attachments along with his incident report to the hotel staff and security. Now, there are a few things that he leaves out of his incident report, like the random man in the room, to which he explains he was irrelevant. Like, when I got there, he wasn't at the incident. Like, when we got to the room, he didn't talk to nobody. He was just someone that was there. Which, side note, the incident report, when they showed it to the press, there is a part where, this is the quote, where Diddy says, I just don't want to lose anything and I could lose it all. That's the alleged quote that was written back in 2016 by the security guard into the incident report.
So did he say that to him?
Allegedly. Now, he does take videos of him arriving on the 6th floor. The security guard takes videos of him arriving on the 6th floor to see Diddy and Cassie. So at this point, he hasn't seen the actual assault footage because that would require him to rewind. He just wants to see when he starts interacting with Diddy.
Right.
He said that he wanted to take a video of the camera monitor because he didn't think that his wife would believe him. He said, again, I was going home, and if I had told my wife, hey, this is what happened, she wouldn't have believed me, so here's a video.
Here's the
The
evidence.
video of
Yeah.
him, it was played in court, and it was pretty uncomfortable because it's clearly just for his wife, but he's giggling when he sees himself exit
That's
the elevator.
insane.
And then at one point, he zooms in on his dress shoes and goes, like, hella shiny shoes or something along those lines.
That's
Now,
crazy.
there is more to the hotel footage, but it's generally like the same stuff that we saw, just different angles. I
Yeah.
do think that this situation, the security guard could have handled it a lot worse, but yeah, I guess that just makes me sad for Cassie, I guess.
Right.
Because
Like,
after
it's
he
a
takes these
very
videos, he
sad
just kinda
situation.
moves on.
Very
And his whole thing was,
overwhelming as
Cassie didn't
well.
want to file a police report. She didn't want to press charges. What could I do? Diddy already left. It's not like, this isn't really my hotel that I'm running. I took these videos for my wife. And then the incident just kind of left his mind for a little bit. The cross-examination starts because the direct examination was done by the prosecutors because he's the prosecutor's witness. But Brian Steele walks up to the podium in his candy cane colored tie. This is like his very first cross-examination. I will say that he does have a presence when he cross-examines. He has kind of like a southern flair. It's not overly southern. It's not like, because I know a lot of southern attorneys, they can fall into the southern religious leader trope that a lot of attorneys talk about, but apparently he is not one of those. The first question that he focuses on with the security guard, though, is on the incident report, you said that you have to cover who, what, why, where, when, what. And Brian Steele says, and the reason that you do every detail is because, or significant detail, is because it's important because later other people who did not witness what you witnessed may want to review your notes. That's fair to say? Yeah, the hotel staff, yes. Brian Steele argues that the incident report is to memorialize the incident because it's been 9 years. Now, I would like to ask you a couple of things about that report, that incident report that you did. Just explain, if you don't mind. You mentioned that when you got off the elevator the first time, you get off the elevator approximately 11:14, 11:15 a.m. Pacific time that day? Okay, you described Mr. Combs as having a devilish, scary look on his face. Do you remember saying that to the jury? Yes? Where in the report
Are you
do you
good?
describe Mr. Combs like that? That's my opinion, so it had nothing to do with the incident. Okay, that has nothing to do with what happened that day? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, with the incident. That is just your opinion now. Correct. No, it was my opinion then and now.
And
You
yeah.
didn't put that in your report. Again, it was my opinion. Answer my question, if you don't mind. It's not in the report, true? No. So Brian Steele then brings up the next
He's
thing that
trying
was
to,
not
like,
included
trip
in
him
the
up,
incident report.
basically.
Now, you
That's
say
what
that
it seems
the
like,
young
at
lady Cassie
least.
has a purple eye. Do you remember telling the jurors that? Yes. Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where in your report, if you need to see it, it's no problem, you wrote that she had any type of discoloration in her eye. I don't recall that on my report. They bring up the incident report. Point to the jurors and where you say that Cassie has a purple eye. It doesn't. He's like, I couldn't hear. I apologize. It doesn't. It doesn't. Now, that would be significant, wouldn't it? Yeah. Because you have to know if somebody gets injured on your property. That's important for not only you, but your coworkers to know, true? Correct.
Yes.
Then he has the guard read through the second paragraph of the report, which reads, and then when we went, so he's saying that when he took Diddy and Cassie back to the hotel room, he, quote, Miss Cece was told to leave by Mr. Combs, so she did. And so Brian Steele is like, do you see that? Yeah, at that point, I didn't believe it was a significant fact because, again, they were just going back and forth. So I'm not going to put something like he told her off. I'm not going to say that. Like, he said leave eventually, and then she left.
Mm-hmm.
So you wrote down what you just said, that Mr. Combs told Cassie to leave. Yeah. And she left. But you didn't write down that Mr. Combs told her that she could not leave? Yeah, because it's not important. That's him just telling her don't leave and me telling him she's going to leave, and then he says you're going to leave. So of course I don't put he told her that she needs to leave. Officer, if it's not important, we're talking about 9 years later. Yeah. You remember the unimportant detail 9 years later, but it's not important enough. I remember most of the incident, sir. He also tries to briefly bring up the idea that perhaps maybe the bribe, or what the guard thought was a bribe, was perhaps just Diddy paying for the damages of the hotel room. through cash. And then he's like, we don't accept cash, basically. Brian Steele also gets the guard to talk about how he pinned up Diddy up against the wall for freaking out about that believed recording.
That he was recording
that
and
his
stuff.
manager was taking. And he says that he put his forearm up to Diddy's chest and then pushed him up against the wall. But the incident report reads, when I grabbed his hand, I told him to back off as we took his hand away from the MOD, like the manager. To which,
So
yes.
Brian Steele is trying to argue that he doesn't remember clearly or making stuff
Basically,
up,
yeah,
or
trying to trip him up.
challenging his credibility.
Okay, I think the jurors are under a different set of rules than everybody else is, right? The court of public opinion is always different from the court of justice. I think that Brian Steele is probably doing the best with what he's given, but I think after, like, we watched that footage like 5 times in the hotel room, or the hotel lobby. I don't know, the security guard could have lied that Pikachu was falling from the sky, and I don't think that it would have, at least in a lot of public opinion, I don't think that it would have changed much.
Got it. Yep.
But I know, like, technically it's the charges that's being argued, not the domestic violence in the video.
Right.
It was just, it just felt like not as serious after watching that video to be like, but why didn't you put it in the incident report? But again, I think that he was doing the best that he could. However, they also kind of have a back and forth about the hotel room itself. The security guard is stating that it's a room where he saw the man on the bed. Brian Steele is stating that it's a suite with the living room, so he wouldn't have been able to see a man sitting on the bed if he was only half into the room, because there's another door that leads into the bedroom. The security guard is saying it was a pull-out sofa then. And it's just like this back and forth. And then eventually Brian Steele is like, did you realize that this was a presidential suite in that hotel? And it felt like a very big moment where I was like, oh my gosh, it's a presidential suite. Something's about to happen. And then the security guard just hits back, like just quip. Presidential suite on the 6th floor on the corner? I don't think so. And then we just like never go back to the presidential suite. It irks me so much. I tried calling the Intercontinental Hotel. They're closed because I'm like, I need to know now if it's a presidential suite. I don't think it was. From what I can tell, I don't know, but it does seem like there's lots of suites in the Intercontinental Hotel. It's very complicated, but they're closed, they're being renovated. But eventually, it is redirected with Prosecutor Slavic, where the guard explains that he didn't include every single detail in the incident report. And so I guess that explains the purple eye, the other things that he didn't include. But not only that, he also explains that he did not believe that Diddy was high or on drugs at the time. He states that he seemed pretty sober, and they start playing that hotel video footage again, because I think the one of the bigger arguments with Brian Steele's cross is that he just but he was trying to argue that the incident report says that Diddy told Cassie to leave, right? And the prosecutors, they go up, they start playing the video, the hotel footage where Diddy grabs Cassie by the hoodie, slams her down, stomps on her. And then at 31 seconds, going to 56 seconds, during that time frame, the prosecutor asks the guard, Officer Flores, towards the end of that snippet, did you see Mr. Combs dragging Cassie? Because I don't know if you recall, but he was dragging her.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. What direction was he dragging her in?
Back to the room.
To the room. And she states, nothing further, and steps away from the podium.
Ooh.
And that is the first witness. So I know you guys are probably hearing about the second witness that went up and testified. He was someone that participated in the so-called freak-offs with Cassie and Diddy, and he's been testifying, and there's been like a lot of salacious stuff that's been coming out and a lot of like headline snippets of his testimony. We're gonna do that tomorrow because his cross-examination hasn't been completely finished, and I feel like it's only fair to show both, if possible, at the same time. And then I also know that Cassie is testifying, so yeah, stay tuned for that. Let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on the first witness? Do you think that it really mattered much? And also the opening statements, I do think a lot of people are upset by both parties. I feel like the internet is upset by the defense's opening statement, which was to be expected. I think a lot of people inside the courtroom like kind of expected that, but then were kind of disappointed because a lot of people had high hopes for the prosecutor's opening statements. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.
Dang. I love Stephanie Sue and I love her storytelling, but this shit too sad. I don't think I can. I don't think I can keep up with the DD situation because like that shit's so fucking sad, bro. Also, if Ship, if you're still here, I also have a Discord, and you can put recommendations there as well to videos that you would like to see. So yeah, we gonna take a little break real quick. We gonna take a little break. So if y'all need food, water, snacks, whatever the case may be, bathroom, because we've been here for an hour, go right ahead. We gonna take a little bit of a break because one, I need to sneeze like so bad. I need to sneeze so bad. I need to blow my nose. My allergies are acting up. Like it's terrible over here. So, yeah. Be right back, y'all. BRB. Let's go to that screen real quick. We're gonna put the chat over here too. So, if anyone decides to chat while we're going, then there you go. Yeah. Be right back, and I might put my dog in the dang cage because she's just like laying here like sleep and stuff, and like she like to lay on me too damn much. So Okay, we are back, y'all. So if we don't have any like recommendations for any shows or anything after we finish the APHMAU series today, then I'm gonna end the stream after the APHMAU stuff. But if we have any recommendations, then we'll do the recommendations. Cause I'm starting to get hungry, very very hungry. So yeah. So if y'all have any recommendations that you guys want to see and watch, please tell me now. Cause if not, I'm in the stream after these 3 to 4 videos so I can cook. Cause I'm starving. I would go puff me or DoorDash me some food, but I am too broke for that right now. So if y'all have any recommendations, please, 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 please let me know. Tired. Alright, let's get started, y'all. I gotta make sure I got my settings correct. Cause I did. Oh shit. I did change them, so. Alright. Why did I turn off my phone knowing damn well I look at chat on my phone? Oh, the Deadpool outfit. Love it. So yeah, sorry for the like less commentary for the first almost 2 hours of the stream. It's just like a more serious topic and stuff, and I was already planning on going live. So I was like, I was planning on watching this video, so I was just like, I need to go live right now, so I'm gonna just watch it on live stream. But like for now on, I'm gonna just watch it during like my free time if I do watch it, because of the fact is it's a serious topic and I'm not doing that much commentary.
Do we have to? I'm not sure how I feel about walking around in a costume.
What are you even talking about? You walk around with your shirt off the majority of the time.
Are you looking at me?
Right.
Of course I mean...
Right, Aaron. Put on a shirt.
What are you even talking about?
I'm sorry if you hear me snacking. Sorry, I got some crackers. I'm hungry.
Of course I mean, no. No.
I don't mind.
Should I leave you two alone?
APHMAU-senpai! Wow, is APHMAU-senpai okay? Your face is burning bright red!
Kawaii-chan, I've never been so glad to have you interrupt.
Does APHMAU-senpai need some water?
No, I'm fine. I'm just glad to see you here at the anime convention.
I've never seen her act like this.
Because she's
What are you doing
flustered.
to her, Aaron?
Just admiring her cuteness from afar.
What did you say?
He said nothing. Don't worry.
I said she was cute.
No.
You're not helping Aaron.
APHMAU-senpai was cute?
Is Kawaii-chan okay?
No.
You might want to cover your ears now.
Right, she's about to scream.
Oh my goodness, my shirt! Mom! This is perfect! Kawaii-chan can't believe this! Aaron said APHMAU-senpai was cute! That means that... Wait, you two are here together? Is Aaron-senpai staying in the hotel room with us?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He and Zane are staying with us.
Just how many people are staying in this hotel room?
Quite a few.
Everybody.
We have a giant hotel room, and we've invited Garth, Lawrence, Travis, Caitlin, Lucinda, Dante, and a few others.
So the entirety of the MYSTREET.
We normally room together for every convention we've been to before. Don't worry, it's fun. It's like a giant sleepover for 3 days.
Speaking of which, everyone else is coming here soon. APHMAU Senpai, are you cosplaying this year?
As usual, I just need to put the finishing touches on my costume today before the con starts tomorrow.
What? APHMAU Senpai hasn't finished her costume yet?
Unfortunately, no. I had a lot going on.
Yeah, she been busy
Well, if all else
pretending to
fails,
be
we
Zane's
can all forget APHMAU
girlfriend,
Senpais. I'll be from work and
having
just put
friends
counters on
with
my
Aaron
head.
since they was kids,
Then I
dealing
just
with
made
Travis
Kawaii-chan.
chaos,
Oh,
dealing
right.
with Lawrence and Gar's chaos, Vad's too, everybody's
Speaking
chaos.
of which, how do you hide your ears and tail when you cosplay?
Oh, good question. Kawaii-chan gets that one a lot. Well, first... wait a minute! APHMAU Senpai is just trying to change the subject so that Kawaii-chan won't ask about Aaron-kun.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
No! No, I would never, Kawaii-chan. We can talk about Aaron all we want. It's just... Oh, is that two Naruto cosplayers over there reenacting the scene between Naruto and Sasuke when they kiss? Why
Jessica,
not?
I'm dead.
APHMAU Senpai, get back here!
Kawaii-chan, please. We've talked about this whole shipping thing before. All right?
Kawaii-chan knows we have APHMAU Senpai, but she can't help it. She just wants to see the world fall in love.
I know you mean well, Kawaii-chan, but I just want to date Aaron without any pressure being put on us. Is that really too much to ask? I guess it is.
APHMAU Senpai said she wants to date Aaron-kun?
No, I just said that I want to hang out with him.
APHMAU Senpai didn't say that. She said date.
It doesn't matter what I said. Look, Kawaii-chan, I just want to be able to get to know someone without having any pressure on me. I don't mind you shipping me as long as I don't know about it. I mean, can you at least keep all the fangirly stuff to yourself?
Right. If I don't know about it, then it don't exist. I'm putting up the crackers because I know it's probably loud as hell
Go on.
in y'all ears, and I'm so sorry. I just had to eat something. Kawaii-chan, are you mentally sane, girl?
Feel better, Kawaii-chan?
Phew, yes. Kawaii-chan won't say
Kawaii-chan, I love you, but you need to seek
Or
hope.
anything related to it this weekend.
Please
Good.
seek
I'm glad.
hope.
Hey. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I didn't see you there. Would you prefer I grab your hips next time before I approach you?
Aaron, not you trying to be smooth. Ooh.
Is Kawaii-chan okay?
No, she's not.
So, are we just going to stand around here in the lobby, or are we actually going to check in? I think Kawaii-chan already checked in.
Kawaii-chan sure did. She was just waiting for everyone else to get here. But since you guys arrived early, we can go on and head to the room. Where are your bags?
We had checked our bags outside, so they should be going up to our room pretty soon.
Great. Then follow Kawaii-chan to the room.
Alright, let's go. Two rooms. Wow. You weren't lying when you said this room was huge. It is essentially just two rooms, so yeah, it's pretty big.
Look, your suitcases are here.
Awesome!
And F
Senpai,
and Zane
don't you have your costume
stuff.
finish up? Oh, that's right.
True.
Yeah, let me show it to you.
Who is she
Let's
supposed to
see.
be again? Because I don't forgot.
Please do. Kawaii-chan would like to help when she can.
That's odd.
Her stuff ain't there.
My costume isn't here.
Someone stole her stuff.
Maybe I found
Aaron,
something to pack
we
in.
on this like every episode. Please wear shirts.
We saw her.
You need shirts.
That's so weird. Koichi will go check the management right now to see if maybe something happened. This is horrible. What am I going to do?
Well, maybe we can make you a new one. Or go to a costume
So
shop.
late minutes.
No. Let's just wait to see what Kawaii-chan finds out.
Right.
She has friends here that work in the hotel, so she's bound to find out what happened. In the meantime, let's not let that get us down and just have fun.
That's all we can do at the end of the day.
Right. This is so interesting. This is your chance to make a lot of friends, Zane. Like,
Right.
A lot. Really, like,
Be social, finally.
be right back. What
Stop
question?
being such an introvert.
Maybe Kawaii-chan will find my outfits. So,
Look
are
at
you
the
excited?
world out there.
It's a new experience. Of course I'm excited. Great! I'm glad. Especially since I get to share it with you.
Not him trying to put the moves. Not him trying to be smooth. Like, that's
I'm
crazy.
cracking up. Even with Zane here?
Yes, even with Zane here.
Zane here.
It's
So
fun. Yeah.
You don't think he's a bit of a downer or anything, do you?
No, Zane's just being
I see
Zane.
why people would think that. But I also think you bring out something in him. That's like the cheesiest thing I've ever heard.
So true.
Just like you bring out something in me.
Ah! Aaron, what are you doing, sir? Right, put on a shirt.
I'm joking. I know you are. Which is what I love about you. APHMAU,
Zane.
What did I say about googly eyes, Aaron?
Zane. You could have went into the other room.
You're afraid of those packs of googly eyes you find at art stores, Zane.
True.
What? I'm not. That's not what I meant. I meant
He just saying that Aaron is such in love with you that everyone can see it from a mile away.
Hey, girl. Hey, girl.
Travis, love him.
A terrible Lucinda impression, Travis. Nah, I nailed it. Oh my gosh. Sorry it took us a while. Garth picked us up and introduced me to Travis here. APHMAU, it's so good to see you. Are you excited for this year's convention?
Yes, we gonna have fun. It's gonna.
I lost my costume somehow.
Yeah, true.
What? How? Long story, but it got taken out or something after going through check-in in the hotel.
Yeah.
That's horrible. Do you not have another outfit? No.
No.
Well now, this isn't so bad. Cheer up. Lucinda has all the answers after all. You do? I made my costume with my spells. I can certainly make you one too. Come on, let's put on a little fashion show now, shall we? All right, come on in. All right, hold still. Here we go.
Wow. My. That's the skirt I was talking about. Do a twirl, APHMAU.
No.
Out of the gutter.
Right. Deserved.
Well, it does look nice on you. I don't think it's your style. Here, how about this?
Hey, Gareth, look. It's from that game you used to play when we were kids. What was it? Digimon?
Not Digimon, that's crazy.
With a filthy mouth.
Let's face it, Digimon was better.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, huh?
Not them. Bruh.
Do you ever learn?
No, he doesn't. He gets smacked so many times in the series. You lose
Outfit even from?
Aaron.
Not sure.
It's from
My
Aaron.
spells are losing power right now. We're just gonna have to let them recharge for a bit.
Weird looking outfit.
How do you
You
even
wore
see
it.
with that mask on?
It looks.
Don't even.
Travis, you about to get body slammed, bro.
You're adorable.
Thanks. Wait, what?
I said you're adorable. And quite handsome, I'm at.
Me?
Lucinda.
Okay. I think I might have hit my head too many times because I swear this babe said I was handsome.
Yes, you are, Travis. You just a pervert and a stalker sometimes, but you are adorable. Don't get that wrong. You are a cutie pie.
Travis is going to treat me to lunch.
I am?
But also,
Come on.
a way to get a free meal, baby.
Sure.
Free food.
Did that just happen?
Yeah.
Did not see that coming.
Speaking of food, I am so starving.
Come on,
It's crazy.
Let's play video games or something until tomorrow.
Dun 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 dun. Yo. Episode 34. We got literally one more episode left, y'all. I am burning off my legs right now. Bruh, I need to save up my money so I can get a desk. This is burning shit out of me.
You act like this is the first convention we've ever been to.
Dante! We don't get that much Dante content. For real.
No.
But Caitlin, Summer, you've entered it with me once before.
I didn't know Pata Pata was dancing back then. I just met you. Oh, come on, Caitlin. It'll be fun. I'm entering it with Kalai-chan. You are? Yep, I love synchronized dancing.
Nicole looks adorable when she dances.
Oh, look at that baby boy
Dante,
simping. Hey, big purr.
Lucinda, you dropped your staff. Let me get that for you.
Why, thank you, Travis.
Why is that so fitting for Travis, bro?
I can hear you from over there, Nicole.
Oh
No,
my
we're not
god.
dating.
How am I just now noticing this reference? This is so on par with Travis' character. Like, of course, he gotta be the perfect age. May his character rest in pieces, bruh. He was the GOAT.
But I think Travis is really adorable, and if he plays his cards right, I might give him a chance, or even better, a kiss.
Ooh.
What? How could you give a creep like that a chance, let alone a kiss?
Creepy
Right.
right. You're talking to a witch here. Plus, look at his cute little cheeks.
Get your
Look
hands
at
off
him.
his cheeks.
Yeah, look at the cuteness. Yeah, Caitlyn being jealous. Yeah. She was like, girl, you making moves on my man. Back up.
I'm trying to save you.
You know, Caitlin, you can't have Nicole, APHMAU, and Travis to yourself.
Right.
You're going to go crazy and do something silly if you keep your emotions bottled up.
Shut up.
You know, I would think you were cuter if you just admitted your feelings.
That's it. Lucinda, fight me.
Bring it.
I love their banter, bro.
What is taking her so long?
She probably got stuck in the toilet or
Hello,
something.
how are
As long
ya?
as she's taking, she's probably drowned.
I can hear you guys, you know. I'm almost done. You can blame Gareth for making me do his hair. Forever.
No, because Gareth is a perfectionist for real.
So, Aaron, I've been meaning to ask you, how did you meet APHMAU?
How did I meet her? She never told you?
She hasn't. Has she told you how she met me?
No, she hasn't. But based off of what your mother was saying, I imagine that you two have known each other since you were little kids.
Yeah, but we
Oh,
never really hung
shit.
out until we got older.
Logged off the
There's more to
chat.
it than that, but I was curious about you.
My day's going well. How about
I've known of her
yourself?
since middle school. Then,
Done. What do you guys think?
whoa, you look beautiful.
She really does.
Aw, thank
Got
you
the men
guys.
smitten.
You guys are beautiful and gorgeous too.
What was that?
Oh yeah, that's Caitlin
And Lucinda.
They've always gotten into these like brawls at cons, and it's kind of an expected tradition that something crazy happens between them usually. Yeah, it's weird. Those two fight a lot, don't they?
Yeah, it's their banter.
They've been like that.
They've been like that forever.
Jeez, as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
It usually is always a friendly rivalry, though. Lucinda really knows how to push Caitlin's buttons, like, a lot.
Yeah. She does that to get a reaction.
Yep.
And I love it. Where am
So
I?
now what do we do that we're in
Damn, my
costume?
shit just disconnect from the damp.
We usually go and enjoy the convention.
Please, what's going
obviously.
on? Why
There are a ton of
is my
activities and
phone
panels to attend.
disconnecting
Plus, there's
from
photo
the
shoots,
chat?
and Kawaii-chan
I need to
usually
see the
hosts
chat.
those. Oh, and yeah, before we head out,
I only got one
try
computer.
To be really careful
Come on now.
about agreeing to
Why you playing?
anything Kawaii-chan might try to pull you into. She always tries to get the group to participate in a dance contest, even though we haven't rehearsed anything.
But
I love doing those with
yeah,
her,
I'm
but she's
from
terrible
the
at coordinating
U.S.
people, and, but
Shout
there's
out
this DDR
U.S.
contest going down that I'd love to participate in if you guys want to. Sounds scary.
I've
I wouldn't
been
mind.
streaming for 2 hours for today, but in total for a couple of months now, since November of last year.
Right. Hey, I still try.
Oh my god, what was that, bro? What?
When it comes to dancing, would you
Aaron,
doing that
sit
maybe in
down,
public?
please.
You've been
Don't
practicing
swear.
and all, but I know you're shy.
Gotta love
Sounds
Aaron
like it'd
though.
be embarrassing to fall flat on your face in front of a bunch of people. Af would catch me. Mashed potato me into a pile of French fries.
Right.
You fall, I'm letting you fall. This is a contest. There are no feelings in the heat of battle. Perfect style of competition. Heartless.
I love Zane and Aaron's banter. Like, it gets me every time. That's
Everyone already went to the convention hall. What? Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
and I were about to finish our fight when
I
Travis
try to
grabbed her and ran
stream
off.
like at least twice a week,
about
if not
Garth and Lawrence?
once, just depending on
Don't
like
tell me their Pokemon tournament started,
how
didn't
busy
As
I
usual.
am.
It's only for a few hours though, so they should be meeting us at lunch. Yeah, but why does Lawrence even attend those things? He doesn't even like Pokemon. The same reason I entered the dumb singing contest, to beat Lucinda at her own game.
I love them, bro.
You and Lucinda just like need to kiss.
Yeah, there are going to be
You guys always fight.
No, because true
Maybe
they
this
do.
year you guys can actually get along.
Yeah, there are going to be a lot of projects that's going to be happening.
But if she provokes me one
So
more
there's going to be
time,
some updates. I'm trying to get some people to draw some stuff for the channel. I'm trying to get a lot of things situated for the channel. I'm slowly doing stuff one at a time because I'm broke.
That show is for babies. Hopefully I'll find it first. I heard that.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It's just order for like that to happen. I need like more money, and right now I'm not working as much as I would want to, so I'm trying to like save some money off to the side for the channel, so we can get bigger and better projects, and just trying to get like things set up for like this channel.
Stop hiding your feelings. You can fangirl all you want here.
Yes, Caitlin, fangirl.
I won't tell anyone, baby.
Literally tells thousands of people on the internet.
Well,
I love
that
Caitlin.
was different.
She always like try to keep everything
Caitlin has
to
always been
herself.
one to hide her emotions, but
Mhm.
she definitely shows them with her actions.
Yeah.
You tend to attract those kinds of people who hide their interests.
The Power Rangers and the
yeah,
Deadpool.
you're right.
Yes, childhood. The Green Power Ranger. Ah!
What?
Oh my god. Me and my brother used to watch the Power Rangers all the dang time.
Guitar.
That was like one of our like getting along type shows. Like we would not fight nothing if one of our shows that we had in common were on. Like mwah, loved it. Ooh, My Little Pony. Love that.
Makes me laugh.
I know what you mean.
Oh yes, sure. I am also on Instagram. I'm a girl play 12. So you can show me your stuff there. Also, I do have a Discord.
Then I guess this
so you can also put some of your stuff in the Discord.
You carry a sword around with you? For moments like this.
Fine. I guess I have no choice.
Hey, look, everyone. These guys are about to have a foam sword duel. Let's watch.
Fight.
Scared now that there's a crowd watching?
I am kind of scared.
Scared that you
Love
won't
it.
dodge this. Ha! Nice sneak attack. However, even though I only have one eye, I'm able to...
Just kill him while he's monologuing. God, when this happens, you have a perfect shot at killing him.
Hey, shut up! I'm trying to watch the fight here. It's getting epic. You guys are really getting into this fight.
Oh my god.
I have come to join in this battle.
This doesn't concern you, Travis.
This isn't a...
And the witch Lucinda joins in.
You'll increase my power level, Lucinda, if you kiss me.
All right.
Yeah, Travis, get the kiss you want. Woo.
Really good. This is just like my Japanese anime where the plot makes no sense whatsoever.
I love Jessica.
I'm about to kiss Travis.
What?
No, you're not.
And why not?
Because he doesn't deserve a kiss from you. Plus, you're terrible at kissing.
Excuse me, but I am amazing at kissing. Because I have a potion for that.
My
Let me show you how it's done.
I'm a little bit tired of talking over them. So I'm gonna pause it real quick. My Discord, I'll put a link to my Discord in a second. Also, I think I should have it linked on Twitch as well. But if not, then you can always just go to my YouTube and there's a direct link to my Discord there.
There! See? He's dead because I'm so good.
You really are cute when you lose your cool, Caitlin. I knew I could pull those emotions out of you. Lucinda wins.
What? Darn it!
My Irene. Caitlin. My love.
Travis and his dramatics.
I guess this means we're dating now?
No, Travis.
No, it doesn't. It just means I need to go into a deep meditation state and hope I forget about you.
Wow.
Caitlin, girl, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay.
Was a thing.
Was that a sign the world is about to end?
Probably, because Caitlin showing her emotions.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Now come on, let's keep looking around.
Let's go to the final episode because like I am starving. Like if we don't have any more like recommendations, I'm going to end the stream after this episode because I'm hungry. I need to cook. So, final episode, y'all. Final episode.
Kawaii-chan, are you guys ready? APHMAU-senpai, are you ready to go? APHMAU-senpai looks so kawaii in her new costume. Aw, thanks, Kawaii-chan.
Gravity Falls.
Your
Aww.
costumes always come out so perfect. The attention to detail is amazing. Kawaii-chan lives and breathes anime conventions. Now that today is day 2, we have to make the most of it.
I just realized that Muaika is not voice acting Koei-chan right now. I was like, wait, who's this?
There was this one thing with...
Don't even APHMAU.
Caitlin, you have to admit it was really unexpected of you.
I just got caught up in the moment. That's
Yeah, you kiss
all.
Travis. You kiss Travis.
It's okay if you like Travis.
Uh-huh. Get your meds. Get your meds.
But I mean, like, a friend. I know he's really weird around women.
No, because true.
Travis can have some
He's a
nice
stalker,
moments.
he's a pervert, and he's a
away,
lovable character.
talking to him or maybe
But
even
boy, have
hanging
mercy,
out
you need to
and
sit down and have
getting
a
to know
damn
him.
time.
Did something happen between Caitlin-sama and Travis-kun?
Sort of.
I don't need this right now. It's bad enough Nicole got food poisoning yesterday and had to leave, but she left with Dante taking care of her. Fine, you know what? I'll hang out with Travis today.
Really?
Yeah, I meditated on it last night, and really, the whole kissing him thing was immature of me to do. I'm gonna go meet up with him and apologize.
Hey, at least she's taking responsibility.
Travis wants an apology for that.
True.
I get what you're saying.
She's being mature about the
Next
situation.
time, don't let this friendly rivalry with Lucinda get under your skin, okay?
I won't. Now I'm headed down to the con. I'll meet you guys there.
Oh, Kawaii-chan will follow Caitlin-sama. You know, Kawaii-chan needs a partner for the Para-Para dance contest now that Nicole is out.
Fine. Buy me lunch and I'll do it.
Really?
Right?
Glad to see Caitlin coming around.
Free food is the best thing ever, I swear. Free food.
You look beautiful today. Ugh. No.
Oh, he's her favorite character from Fairy Tales.
But?
Oh.
No, that's something Travis would say. It's kind of creepy.
No, because true.
You're beautiful.
Wow. I didn't think you were that conceited to say that.
No, that's not what I meant.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you do look beautiful in that costume.
That's something I should be saying to you.
Oh.
It's just a sweatshirt. So, what are you doing
Them
out here?
flirting is
He's waiting
adorable.
for you and
I
Zane.
just love it.
He's taking forever to get ready.
Yeah, he is. I just talked to him, and he said he's almost ready.
APHMAU, you really do look beautiful.
Hey, I'm not done with this joke.
I mean it.
No, he's being
I
honest.
wanted to ask you about Zane. He really cares about you.
Yeah, he's the best buddy.
He does.
He's the best
He
friend.
considers me his best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly think he's afraid of losing me, but...
Ah, there you are. For a second, I thought
I love it how they're
gone to the
the
convention
twins.
without me.
Literally, Gravity
Remember,
Falls.
Zane,
Love it.
I would have told you first. Even if those cupcakes are making it hard for you to get into your costume. I'm just joking. You're fit, bruh. Don't worry. Aaron and I would
You're
never
fit,
take off without
bruh.
telling you.
Oh my god.
I know you
That's
would,
crazy.
APHMAU. Him, on the other hand.
I wouldn't either.
Sure. I know you're just waiting to steal her from me.
I'd ask you first.
Whatever.
Oh, calm down, you two. You guys got along so well yesterday. I know we're all cranky because we stayed up so late last night, but let's just go to the convention and have fun. Come on, there's some ponies I want to check out.
My little pony. Dun, 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 my little pony.
I've already bought so many. I swear, I'm gonna go broke doing this.
No, because
You can always
feel you
stop,
on that.
You know.
True.
And let your
But like
collection
the
be bigger than
thing
mine?
is,
Never.
it's My Little Pony.
What
Right.
was that?
It's My Little
Oh,
Pony.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, Aaron, how big is your pony collection? I just have one. What? She gave it to me. Oh, really?
Why the heck it sound like
Which
somebody at my door?
The one that reminds me of him the most, obviously.
I'll check it after the stream, by the way.
I actually can see that. Yep. Hmm? Is that a limited edition pinky cake?
Pinky cake.
Zane.
Pinkie pie. I love it.
APHMAU? Yeah? I wouldn't mind getting one for you. A pony. You don't
Aww.
have to.
I can't wait until we start season 2 next week so we can see the couple be a couple for real. I'm so excited, but also we get mama.
This event.
We get mama.
That's all.
Literally, we get mama.
With me.
And I just love her antics.
APHMAU, that pony was nothing new. I could have told you that. You can tell from here. Whatever. What? Did I interrupt something?
Yeah,
No,
but not
it's
really.
nothing.
They're just being adorable, that's all.
I'm watching your eyes. What
What's that mean? Right. What you say, brother's eyes are going somewhere that it's not supposed to go? Huh?
Hey, APHMAU, over here.
Hey.
Travis,
Dun dun dun
looking
dun
fine,
dun.
lady.
Dun.
You know,
Dun
I
dun
was
dun
wearing
dun
a
dun
sweatshirt
dun.
with legs. I'm talking about those legs.
I
baby.
know his outfit is from Attack on Titan, but who is he supposed to be? Levi or something?
You really are something, you know. But my eyes are up here. Anyway, maybe
Travis
you should
and
really
his
not
darn
go around girls how you're
antics.
trying to get with
Little pervert.
I mean, I know you're Travis, and that's probably never going to really change. But I mean, come on. What do you get out of this? Play along. I'm trying to make Caitlin jealous.
Oh, you don't need to do that, honey.
What? You know she's not gonna be jealous of me.
I will. I'll
right? Plus,
check it
she's
after the
busy
stream. The stream is
dancing
about
up
to end.
You know, right? Isn't she cute? Hey, Travis, maybe you should try a different approach when it comes to Caitlin.
Right.
Like what?
Caitlyn is so protective of her heart.
try being
You
a
gotta
gentleman
be nice, sweet, a gentleman, and not on the normal stuff that you are on all the damn time. Be it you. Love you. Don't change. Don't get that wrong. Like, don't change Travis. Do not
Are you trying to say you're jealous?
change
She's been
at
hitting on
all.
me? Travis! Travis has still got it.
Travis gone somewhere.
But no, seriously, are you jelly?
He's one of my favorite characters in the entire MYSTREET series. Oh my god.
To do. I still am, right? Yes, Travis, you're still my friend.
Yes.
I'm sorry we don't talk as
Not
often,
alone
but I know you're
buddies.
busy with
Gotta
work
love
and
them.
we're ladies. Which, by the way, I'm disappointed you haven't found anyone yet. I'm trying.
Maybe change the game strategy.
Too, but Caitlin.
Oh my god, Travis.
Both of them?
No, he's not.
I'm just saying, her lips look nice. I got two beautiful women to choose from.
Travis, please go on somewhere.
I swear, Travis, if you hurt either of them, I'll
Right. I will be right with you, Af. I'm gonna be right with you.
I know I'm a hottie, and you do have a nice butt.
Oh my god, Travis. You about to get smacks.
Hey, Aaron.
Right, Aaron gonna do it.
I was just teasing about the butt thing. It's not like I ever look. Because, damn, I mean, I don't.
Travis, you're not saving yourself. Run.
I'm just joking.
Run, Travis.
APHMAU, may I talk to you alone? One second. Let me deal with Travis. He's just. You should go, APHMAU. I'll take care of Travis.
Yes, Zane.
Okay.
If I could go through my screen, I would be right with you. Love Travis, though. Don't get me wrong. But season 1, Travis, bruh. He's around Dante too much. He's around Dante too much. The confession. These are my confessions. Man, I don't know what the Okay, I need to stop. I'm being too much cringe.
We've been friends for a long time. When I'm around you, I can see myself enjoying a movie with you, or reading a book, or just anything. In those moments, It's just us.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. I just love being with you.
Yeah.
You can't be serious right now.
I am.
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
Yes!
Will you be my girlfriend?
Yes. The answer is yes. She will.
Talked about this.
Yes. She
What everyone
will.
else would think.
Who cares?
And then Zane.
Them all.
Don't worry about me.
F them all.
Aaron and I talked about this.
Uh-huh. Who cares about people's opinions? As long as you in love with that man, that's all that matters. Forget the whispers. Forget all that.
In front of APHMAU.
I need to ask you a question.
That's your
I need
man's.
you to answer honestly.
Go on.
Are you in love with APHMAU?
No.
What?
Are you in
No,
love
that's
with her?
just the buddy. That's just the homie. That's just the homegirl right there.
No.
Why is it any of your business? Give me one good reason why you feel the need to ask me such an inappropriate question.
I want to ask her to be my girlfriend.
Yes.
I thought you two already talked about holding off. Because everyone else wouldn't leave you alone.
True. Because people don't know how to mind their damn business. Like, bruh, go on somewhere.
When I saw
Mind your
with your
business.
mother, I thought I'd lost her to you. It hurt.
No,
It
baby,
was hard for me to watch.
No, they're
It was one of the
there.
only times I could truly say
They're
I
there.
was jealous of someone else being next to her.
I could tell. I was hoping to take her from you.
So you do.
Not like that.
I don't know. I know she likes you a lot. And I don't want to get between you two. But I don't want you to take her from me. I love hanging out with her.
He just want to make
So
sure
if you
that he
do
keeps
ask
his
her
friendship with his
to be
best friend.
yours, promise me you won't keep her to yourself.
You're her best friend.
Aww.
I'd never take that from you.
Yay!
So are you going to be okay with this?
The character
don't need
development,
my
we
permission.
love it.
I'm not her father, you know.
You act like it though.
You were once.
That doesn't count.
You act like you're her daddy.
Aaron, go for it.
Yay!
You have my blessing. I'll leave you two be.
Yes.
And
Say yes,
you know,
say yes.
I
That's literally all you have to do.
sleep, right?
Okay,
I
who
also
cares?
Spend too much time on the internet. I'm
Okay, who
terrible
cares?
at doing laundry.
Y'all love each other.
Watch way
That's
too
all
much
that
anime, like,
matters.
ridiculously. Sometimes I drink straight from the milk carton too. Plus,
Who cares?
I read and write way too much fan fiction, and sometimes it involves you. But I mean, wait, no, I didn't say that.
What'd you
What I
say?
meant was
Oh,
that it's just-
wait. What'd you say?
Sometimes it involves you, but I mean, wait, no, I didn't say that. What I meant was that it's just.
And then he shuts her up with a kiss. A good old fashioned trick that I love. Yes.
Socially awkward when it comes to talking to other people.
Me.
I'm very blunt in what I have to say. And you're not the only one who drinks from milk carton. But that doesn't matter.
Drinking from the milk carton, knowing damn where other people is like need the milk is crazy. But like if it's just yours, then go ahead, right? Don't right on. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. They kissy. They together. Finally, it took fucking forever, bitch. Oh my god, I love me a slow burn, but bitch. Whew. Yes.
Everyone, Aaron and I need to tell you all something.
Yeah.
We're
Diddy.
dating.
Yeah. I'm Kawaii-chan right now. I am Kawaii-chan.
You guys aren't shocked?
We
No.
kind of figured.
Yeah.
Ever since the Valentine's Day date,
Mhm.
we've kind of known.
Garth, Lawrence.
That doesn't mean we don't love you. We just
They
want to
just
see you happy.
starting to mature. That's all. They're just starting to mature.
I will.
And also finally put on the damn shirt, bro. Like, oh my god, put on a shirt. Eric, it's not that hard to just throw a tee over your fucking head. Please. Even though in the next season they gonna be on beaches and stuff, so he's still not gonna be wearing a shirt. But like, still.
That's what I meant to say.
Nice save, Travis. Nice save. Not really, but nice save.
I'll let it pass.
Yeah.
You better start making moves, Caitlin, or I'm taking Travis for myself.
Ooh, Lucinda, go on somewhere. I love you though, girl. I love you, but sit down. Caitlyn and Travis are meant to be. I love their dynamic. I love their relationships. Mwah. Now my internet acting up. Like, come on. Move faster. The art, I love it. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I love it so much. And therefore, we are done with season 1, everyone. So that means I have to hurry up and edit all my previous VODs and make them into YouTube videos. So, before we get on to season 2, I'm gonna have to do that. Am I gonna get no sleep? Because there's 5 to 6 live streams in total that I have to edit. Yeah, but who cares? It is what it is. So that is the end of the stream, y'all. I'm starving. We didn't have any more recommendations, so we end the stream here. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, y'all. It was fun having you guys here. I know damn well I enjoyed myself, okay? I enjoyed myself here so much. So see you guys next week. We're gonna do our annual ritual. We're gonna /raid. And let me go on twitch.com to see who we're gonna raid. Anyone that I know in IRL live right now, or is my favorite streamers live, or are we just gonna randomly raid someone? I'm muting this, muting, please, no, mute. Is it muted? Please. Okay. So now just let's do this person real quick. So I didn't think about this. I'll just copy and paste it. Shoot. Make life easier. You know, we gotta love making life easier. Oh, I can't copy and paste. Come on. Copy and paste. I thought we was gonna make my life easier. Okay. Not today. I might have to type. Alright, fine. So I guess after this stream, I'm gonna do what I need to do. That's the only reason why I decided to stream earlier than usual, because I needed to do something after the stream, and then after I'm done with that, we are going to edit these videos. So so it's what I have on here. Okay, so ID. I'm trying to make sure I spell this person's name right. you gotta spell the name right. In order to read them. So bear with me. Okay. So we are going to raid this person right here. So if you guys want to watch this person's raid, then stay tuned and watch them. If not, I recommend just clicking off the stream. But we always gotta support other streamers, you know. That's why this kind of came like an annual ritual on this. Bruh, why my Streamlabs acting insane right now? So that's why it's kind of like an annual ritual that we raid someone at the end, you know. But this is taking me a long time to do because of the fact that I'm just trying to make sure I'm spelling people's names correct. That's all. Alright, alright, bye y'all. Have a nice one.